happening, everybody? Oh, look at what the heck was that? Did you guys see that in the chat bar there? Aaron, did you see like there was all kinds of like stuff falling down there? Unless it was just for me. That was pretty wild right there of what I just saw. Hey, super excited to have all you guys. If your camera's not on, hey, do me a favor, turn on your camera. Hey, Paul, super nice to see you. Rafino, hey, it's been a little bit. I'm glad you're here. Cheryl, looking amazing, looking amazing. Man, we got so many of you ready to go here. Matt, Mr. Matt, super excited to have you today. And Owen's managed to get himself sideways, which is impressive. And Rhonda, it's been a minute. Super nice to see you. Hey, we're gonna have a great time together here, and we have a lot of information that we're gonna go through. I do want to share with you. Hey, Steve Brown, what's happening? I want to share with you guys why we decided at Food Dog to do this training. I knew that leading up to the election, and I want to make sure all of you, do you all know how to use the chat bar? Can you go to the chat bar and hit boom? Can you hit boom on it? I want to make sure you know how to use that. And then what I'd like for all of you to do, can you show me you know how to like raise your hand, or like I just put a heart up, or well, maybe don't throw me hearts yet. I didn't earn that yet. But do you know how to like raise your hand and lower your hand? Can you do that, or hit something? All right, Matt Formica's got it dialed in, because what's going to make this extremely effective and beneficial for you is that I'm not just the dancing bear today, that I'm talking with you and not at you, okay? Months and months ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago, I knew, because I knew at the beginning of this year, actually the end of last year, some of you that have been in our world a while, hey, Danielle from Australia, hey, nice to see you. And so people that have been in our world, Eagle, I've been talking about 2024 before 2024. Not because I'm Nostradamus. Maybe I should give myself the title of Mike Jordanis or something, but because I look at trends and patterns and habits and behaviors, and I say to myself, how are people behaving today? And what is that going to do to tomorrow? And you should write that down, everybody. How are people behaving today? And what's that going to do for tomorrow? I also, hey, Mr. Mark Lund, super nice to see you. I also would love for you, as I'm communicating with you and things resonate, you find impact, you find value in that, I would like you to write your note, but I'd like you to go to the chat bar too. And I'd like you to put in the chat bar, because I can only go as fast as you all can go. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Hey, Kim, super nice to see you. I'm going to run over you guys. I'm going to run over you guys. And if I just run over you with information, you're not going to be able to apply it and execute on it. If that's fair, can you type in the chat bar fair? Can you type in fair? So as we were going into the year, I knew that this election's coming, and I knew that we were going to have a state of paralysis. We were going to have a state of frozen. And how many of you are business owners? Can you type in business owner in the chat bar? Can you type in business owner, please? And if you're a business owner, I bet no matter where you're at in the world, you felt a little bit of this pause, paralysis, or you experienced someone else that had it. If that's true, can you type in true in the chat bar? Have you noticed that from anybody? And now we're not talking about the mind like, oh no, I'm so positive and blah, blah, blah shit. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people, the way they buy, the way things are happening changed, and everybody was stuck. And then what happened is we had the election, and then some of you became really, really happy Maybe a few of you became really, really annoyed, but don't worry about anything because the human race is so intelligent, Mark Lund, that we actually forgot about anything that happened with the election because something greater on the planet than the election happened. The Tyson and Jake Paul fight, right? So just to show you the temperament of the world, we all of a sudden just figured it doesn't matter about the election. It doesn't matter who won. We'll go back to normal and we'll just say to ourselves, who's going to win the fight? And then afterwards, you were probably slightly annoyed like me, and but also excited because you were annoyed. You couldn't believe who was annoyed. Type in annoyed if you were annoyed. Like, were you just like, what was that? But on the other side, you might have been excited because you got to watch some of the greatest marketing probably of all time. Some of the greatest marketing of all time you were able to watch. So if you did miss it, I'm not saying to go watch the fight because it doesn't really matter. What I'm saying to you is you should look at the marketing because, Alan, if you just took 1/16 of the positioning that they did, every company would scale exponentially. That's how strategic. Now, I don't think you should get people and then deliver a really shitty product, but I do believe that the marketing that you showed was definitely value. I also, if you could type in the chat bar, it does help me if I know what your core business is. I know a bunch of you, some of you are in safety, some of you are coaches. If you're a coach, tell me who you coach. Some of you are, I think I saw Kathy on, she's one of the top teen coaches. I know that we have contractors on here. So tell me what business you are in so that as I am teaching, I can apply it to a lot of your stuff here. Cybersecurity. Let me see what else we have. Investigation training, coach adult martial arts, teens and student athletes, automotive repair, plumbing and heating, HVAC, electrical, heat and cooling, massage. Oh, yeah. So Lisa, that's your friend, right? So we got, now I feel extra healthy that I have two massage therapists on here. So thank you for that. Contractor. All right. So I'm going to do my best to make sure that as we talk through information, strategies, tactics, that I'm applying it to different things. I am going to do my best to open it up as we go through this and give you a time before breaks to ask me a question. Now, I'm only going to be able to take a couple questions because we'll have to do a break, but it's going to be as important for me to answer some stuff for you than it is for me to just present to you, okay? And is anybody new in my world? I think everybody I'm seeing here has been in my world for a little bit, but if you are new, just type in new in the chat bar if you're brand new. And if you are new, you're trying to figure out if, okay, so you're new, you're like, I don't know, this tattoo guy, I don't even know if I like him. Well, if you are new, let me prepare you for a couple things. I'm going to curse some. So if that do bother you, you could either change the words or just save yourself now is what I would say. I don't believe in changing my colors for anybody else here. So I'm just going to give you the real Mike here, if that's okay with you. All right. The other thing is my intention for you today is the first intention I always have is evolution. And why don't you write that word down because whatever you desire and don't have is because you're not evolving the skills you need to get to what you desire. If you would like to be debt-free and you're not debt-free, you have not evolved into the human that is ready to be debt-free. And if you want to be wealthy and you're not wealthy, whatever you want to define wealth as, It's because you just have not hit that evolution for whatever reason. It could be you have subconscious mind blocks. It could be the environment that you're in. It could be you're not in a supportive circle. It could be you just don't have skills. Maybe you just don't have the marketing skills. Or maybe you're trying to do business. I think one of the most dangerous things is, like, let's just call it voodoo business. Voodoo business is like, you have a creative idea that's never been proven out, and you figure you'll be the first to prove it, which means if it works, you can win. But if it doesn't work, you're going to bleed. Your business is going to bleed. And I believe, and you want to write this down, I don't believe in doing better than better. I do believe in doing different, but strategic difference. Because if you're just trying to do better than better, let's use a massage therapist company. It's like, oh, I do massage for 150. And then someone goes, oh, well, I do it for 150 and you could sniff peppermint oil, right? That's just better than better. Versus different is not only part of my massage that I do is you have a choice of listening to any one of these strategic things that will change the inner mind along with the outer body. Oh, that's very different than everyone else. Yeah, so we have training, you can listen to something that's based on frequency to get rid of trauma. I could have you listen to something while I'm massaging you that's going to burn weight off your body or eliminate fat. So that's the type of thing that's very different versus better than better. Am I tracking? Can you type in tracking in the chat bar if I'm tracking with you? So I want to give you today a sense of evolution. And I want to give you a sense of looking at things different. And I also want to give you ways to navigate the new world, which, if you're waiting for January 1st, I'll give my little rant on January 1st. So normally New Year's Eve, not everybody, but a lot of people, they go to parties and they drink and they smoke and they do all this stuff. And the next day they're shot, right? They can't function. So they already burned up their first day of the new year. I would tell you everything we do today, don't even wait till tomorrow to implement something. Let's just implement it today. Now we're going to be together from now till 6 p.m. and we'll do about a 10-minute break. Like, we're going to go for it. And I'm hoping that you're going to stay with us through the whole time. Now, I do need to give you a disclaimer. And if you see me writing, it's because I have worked a whole lot on building this training with our team for you. And I don't want to miss one thing, because I believe everything I built into this training is really important. But the disclaimer for all of you is this. The disclaimer is you got to do your own due diligence. I'm not guaranteeing any results. And those of you that might be new and those of you who are not, I'm not guaranteeing that you can do what I've done or you're going to do what I'm doing now. You should check with your attorneys and all your experts. If we all understand the disclaimer, can you give me a little yes in the chat bar, please, so I know that you understand? But I do share with you that I don't feel I'm very different than any of you. I just feel like I've done some different things. And until you learn how to do different things, you're going to be like, okay, so the difference between me doing 500 million in my companies and you doing 500,000 is just you're not doing something different, which is normally you don't understand scalability. You don't understand how to grow. You're saying things to yourself that are restricting. And all of you, let's have some fun because we're already together. We already know each other now. If you were to put in one thing in the chat bar that you're saying to yourself, and I see some of you are in a room with people, so you're all going to playful out together. One thought that you have that's limiting, that you know it's keeping you from the next level. What is that thought? Type it in the chat bar. Is it I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not smart, I don't know marketing, I lost money, my family, my kids, my health? Like, what is the limiting belief for you? I see a lot of self, but what part of the self, Gina says too late, some say knowledge, whatever part of that is holding you back, I want you to really consider that I can share with you the most brilliant strategies. But if I share something brilliant with you and you sit there and say you suck inside your mind, it's going to be very hard to move forward past your belief system. So that's why we need to get to one of the core things as you're listening today is don't listen to anything I'm saying and go, oh, I know that. Because if you know it, you'd already be further ahead. The other thing I want you to challenge is if it says that doesn't work for me. When I was, and you guys know my background, when I built a big service company, which was 32 million tracking for 40 million, and I had 200 employees and 165 trucks on the road, which now looking back, I don't mean to be insulting or rude, like that was cute what I did, but man, it is so much easier to build big things today if you know what to do than then, because like AI is just making it faster. A lot of tools are making it quicker. And then when I started teaching tradespeople, which I've trained over 1,000 business owners plus at an organization I built called CEO Warrior, which I sold in 2020, people used to ask me, I don't understand how that strategy would work in my business. But I want you to understand that the majority of growth that happens if you want to scale, and I'm going to give you, and I wasn't even going to talk about this, so take this as bonus here. The majority of I learned about scaling and winning, and it's really winning, isn't it? Like, I think my guess is most of you want to have, and you'll tell me in the chat bar, you want to have life, business, and wealth by design. Is that correct? You want enough money to say no and yes to anything you desire, right? Like, I think that's what a lot of people want. Like, you want to be able to say, I can pay for a new roof and I don't have to lose sleep. I could buy a new car and I don't worry about bills. And if health problems come up. And so if you want life, business, and wealth by design, I want to give you some things up front and then you can just leave if you want. The rest is all going to be amazing, but these are the core things. One core thing I already gave you, and you should write it down. It's, I must challenge my limiting beliefs. Okay, team, type in number one, limiting beliefs. And guys, I have a whole team on here with you today. I have an amazing team. I got my business partner on here. I got coaches on here, incredible people. You'll know. A team, just say who you are in the chat bar and what you do, please. Okay, so they know. So if they want to talk to you too. And so we got to challenge the limiting beliefs. Number two, you have to shift your identity. You have to shift your identity. If you feel broken, you're going to live broken. Now, I understand that as much as anybody because I've been dealing the last couple of months with some of the most weighted pressure of things that you could imagine. But if I get to be broken, everything else will be broken. So I have to make sure my identity is somebody who can handle tough decisions, tough situations. So you got to have the identity. Number three, you have to know with clarity where the hell you want to go. So raise your hand for me if you would all like more money. Does anybody want more money? Stephanie, more money? Okay, all right. So if you want more money, well, then what happens is you have to be clear how much more money. And most people are afraid to say, I want this much money. They're afraid to say it. I want 20 million in my bank account because you don't even have $20. So you're afraid to say it. But the mind believed is the only mind that can possibly achieve it. The mind that believes it. So you need what we call a target. You need a target. The next thing that you need is you need passion. And passion to me is something that you do all the time, not because you have to, right? And if you tell anybody, if you tell your kids, I have to work, you're not living a passion, you're living a job. You just call yourself an owner, but you should call yourself an employee, because if you use that language, you're just an employee. But if you have a passion, then it's a movement. It's a movement that you want, which means you don't say, thank God it's Friday and it's crappy Monday and hump Wednesday. And the last big part I'll tell you that speeds up everything is don't try to figure it out alone. And when I say that, I say it with all the caring in the world, but most people either have no coach and no trainer, or they have a shitty coach and a shitty trainer, or they're listening to big experts and gurus out there that act like they did it and maybe never did do it. Or, that's one thing I always made a promise is, and you guys know, I'm a pretty big influencer in many fields. I impacted hundreds of thousands of people at this point. But when I speak, I'm not behind the stage and talk and disappear. And if any of you Facebook message me, guess who returns the Facebook message? It's me. Because you know what, Mark? I made a promise I'll never be too big that I have to ignore the world, right? I don't want to be that guy. Now, if you learn from people who can help you, you're going to shorten the curve and you're going to save decades. So now we got a little bit of that. Now, this training here, just so you know, I mean, it had a significant price point on it for 4 hours. So no matter how you ended up on here, I want you to treat it as if you spent the money that we were charging, which was in many cases, it was valued at $699. So please, if you're distracted by anything, cell phones and dogs and this, like, take this time for yourself, because if you don't have blocked out time to really, really focus, well, then what you have is you're living a world of distractions. And it's very hard to win with it. Tell me one distraction that you keep allowing to happen inside your life that you just have not said stop to. Go ahead, tell me in the chat bar. Who's brave enough to say this distraction just keeps coming back, and I just got to say, no, I need to create healthy emails. There you go. Stupid phones, the house, okay? The phone, energy thieves, people that are like, why are you trying? You're doing what training? Can't you just be happy? Well, yeah, but you could be a lot more happier when you have money. Gina says kids. Okay, just remove them, Gina. No, I'm just kidding on that. I'm just kidding. Family. So if you can identify, Denise, what the resistance is, now you could start to, you have a choice. You can say no to the resistance, right? Or you say yes to the resistance. So write down, I want you guys all to type in something in the chat bar right now that you're already is sticking out for you as an action, because I don't want you to have 500 notes. I want you to have 5 actions at the end of this that move the needle. Is it one of the actions is I need to start controlling my situations? Is it I need to say no? Block out time during the day, right? And a lot of you, who is doing a lot at the sacrifice of their health right now? Raise a hand. Anybody? You're doing a lot at the sacrifice of your own health. Look at all the hands go up. My wife and I were talking about that before. We're like, if you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself, you sure the heck can't help anybody else. So let's make sure as we're going through the training today that you're writing down different things here. Now, I am going to give you some stats. And these stats that I'm going to give you, I want you to understand, I'm not giving them to scare you. I'm giving them because you probably don't have them and you don't know what they mean. And I know a lot of people say to me over the years, they say, Mike, I don't watch the news. And I say to them, why? Why don't you watch the news? Well, I don't want to put that in my mind. I said, okay, I get it, but that means you're not in control of your own mind. See, if you're in control of your mind, you can process everything the way you choose to process it. If you want to process the news as hell, it will be hell. If you want to process it as heaven, it will be heaven. But I will share with you that when you look at things as only information of awareness, and I want you to write that down, information of awareness. And why I'm spending an extra minute on this is because I want to give you some information of awareness without you processing it as hell, but process it as opportunity to understand. I was talking to someone before, and they said somebody was in one of their events and they heard something, Mark, that they didn't like, that the political person was saying, and they stomped out of the event. I don't want to hear this. The bad, whatever people. And I thought to myself, how sensitive and triggered the human race is that you can't pause for 1 minute and just say to yourself, what's the value in that information? Do I have to agree? No. Do I have to disagree? No. Should I be at an evolved state as a human to say, let me process that. Let me see what that means. And that gets to a very tricky point here. And Rihanna, if I'm saying that right, just hold your hand and I'll get to you before we go to break, okay? But leave your hand up and we'll talk about things. And because what happens is, and look, you all had the greatest polarity. And for anybody that studies human behavior, which I would challenge all of you to write down the note, study human behavior. Because if you're triggered by Trump, or you're triggered by Harris, or you're triggered by this, and you're triggered that the Giants, and don't let me talk about football because you're going to find out really fast. I have no effing idea about that shit. None at all. I just know the Giants and maybe Raiders. I don't even know. Is the Raiders a team? I know just enough to let anybody somewhere know I know nothing. But like, you say one sports name and everyone freaks out. And it's almost like in the world, and I want you to write these things down. Everything in your life is either empowering you or disempowering you. It's either empowering or disempowering. Now, let's get to the truth again. How many of you are doing some really good kicking of your own ass in your mind, what I call like negative self-talk? You're really a pro at it. Tell me in the chat bar. Type in pro. Are you a pro at it? And because you keep hearing your third grade English teacher saying you spelt it wrong in front of the class, and so you just feel in a constant state of kicking your own ass, which happens to be your mind, right? Your mind. And the reason why I'm keeping a lot of framework on this, because all the strategies I'm going to give it, if I give it with the same thinking you have, you're going to keep getting the same result you got. How many of you have employees or team or something like that? Type in team in the chat bar. Type in team. Do you have some team? And thank you for some of you that have joined us. Hey, Steven, Sean, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Tomas, if I'm saying that right. Tracy, hey, excited to have all of you guys here. And so those of you with team, right? Imagine if you're kicking your own mind, they're probably kicking their minds too, which means the closer we get to evolving our mind to talk in a way that is empowering ourselves instead of disempowering. And if you're brave enough, it's okay if you're not. Look, one thing you'll know about me, if you've been in my world a little or for a long time, like, I'm excited whatever you share. I'm excited what you don't share. But if you would say to yourself, what's one thought you say in your mind that you know is someone else would go, ooh, I don't want that thought. What's that thought? Is it I'm old, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm skinny, I have gray hair, I should be further along in my career? What is it? Type it in the chat bar. Yeah, good enough. I'm not capable. I'm not smart enough. Every one of you, just so you know, I've yet to see one. I'm hoping one of you will put one in there that I have not had myself yet. Should be more successful. No, had that. I should be further in my career. Had that. Shouldn't have even tried. Had that. Yeah. So come on, try a little harder. I want one of you to, you got to throw something like, like some woman thing that a guy can't have, because that's the only way you're probably going to grab one that I don't have. Like, oh, I have extra long menstrual period or something, because that I don't have that, even though my wife says you act sometimes like you have a period. She does say that, but I've been with my beautiful wife since I'm 15, and I'm level 54 now. She's not on. She's navigating some things. She'll probably be on in a little bit. Okay, Cheryl, thank you. She's on her period, so I can't relate to that one. So the point is, if you keep repeating this, and to simplify it, and if you already figured out that if that little bit of inappropriateness bothers you, then I would tell you you'll probably never fit hanging around me. But if you could tolerate that, then yeah, we're going to be really good friends for a long time. Is when you think about this mantra, the word mantra, and I want to take a minute to say what the word is. A mantra is something, Matt, that you repeat over and over again until it becomes your belief system. And a mantra can go to what we call the subconscious mind, your mind that stores everything. So if I say, I'm a loser, 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 you will wake up and go to sleep feeling how a loser sleeps, because you have said it repetitive so many times that it will go to your subconscious mind and make you, that's the record that's going to play every day. Now, if you say, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, and you never get off your ass and never do anything, you never learn anything new, well, you're going to be a winner who just sits on their ass. You'll just think you're a winner, but you may not get all the desired results that you want. Okay, tell me what's standing out for here as an action item for you. Is it, I need to change my patterns, I need to modify what I say? And it's whatever way you want to remind yourself. If you have to put it on your mirror in the morning, if you need, like in the dojo, is any martial artist here? Type in martial arts. In the dojo, we have something that's called, I wish I had it in here. I should bring one in here so I have it. I used to have something that's called the shinai. Okay. Now, Alan probably knows what shinai is. The shinai is a bamboo sword. And in the dojo, my son knows, I guess the opposite, I guess they can't call DIFUS if you call it martial arts. I guess that's the rule there. So with my son in the dojo, we would have the shinai, Alan, and if you said negative thoughts or did negative things, well, bam, you get the shinai on you. Not to break them in half, to create a trigger. That thought is not serving. And then you create this mind that goes, that thought is disempowering, put an empowering thought. And I want you to write this if you'll entertain for me, because this one thing will start to change your future. And remember, throat chop is about creating a competitive advantage. And I know I said it in a tense way. I mean, it's to make your competitors beg for mercy, which they probably will once you get aligned with this, but it's not to hurt them. It's to make them step up themselves. And if you would just take on every time a disempowering thought comes in, I'm going to throw an empowering thought. Now, we don't have time like we did at Seekers of Power in some of these trainings where we'll show you how these effects, how these negative thoughts affect your body. I'm sure that Lisa is always trying to massage these thoughts out of people because, oh, your back is bad again, huh? Yeah, okay. I'm sure you twisted it, but you just told me you're fighting with your mother-in-law, right? Because the thoughts are going to store in the body. Okay, so now I didn't forget about you, Renee. We're going to get to you before break, so keep your hand up there. Keep your hand up there. All right, so let me give you some stats. And some of you, if you could relate to these stats, Eagle, you'll go, holy crap. And then we go, well, what now, right? So in 2008, I didn't go back way far because 2008 is something that people can really, a lot of you can maybe reflect upon. Some of you look way young to understand 2008. But if you do understand 2008, type it in the chat bar, 2008, if you understand it. I understand it very well because I was a business owner. Hey, Judy, nice to see you. Author Judy in the house. You guys got a lot of authors in here. You got author Dave Monk is in the house, top cybersecurity and IT expert. You got author Judy in the house. Nice to see you. Got a lot of great people on here. So 2008, here's what we have. Business closures only in the United States. Now, this is always shocking for me, Eagle, when I think about this, and Stephanie. Approximately 880,000 businesses closed in 2008. That's a lot of companies to close. It's almost 1 million companies closed in 2008. But then let's look at bankruptcies, okay? Business bankruptcies. There was well over 38,000 big business bankruptcy filings. And in 2008, we were up 49% of bankruptcies, 49% from the year before. It's catastrophic, as you know. So if you bring up 2008 to anybody and they start getting a nervous twitch, you'll know why, because they lived through this. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this for you guys is because, and write this phrase down, I didn't create it. I heard it probably decades ago. They said that the future will only equal the past if you live there. The future will only equal the past if you live there. Now, since I coached over 1,000 business owners, and I probably got to change it to thousands at this point, I can tell you when I talk to a lot of people that lived through 2008, and I say, why aren't you growing? Why aren't you scaling? Why aren't you gaining more profit? And it always triggers back, well, I'm afraid, I lost money, I lost business, I lost this. So when I hear people living within that realm of losing, some people call it like fear. I call it trauma. Do you get that? If you get it, type in get it. I call it trauma. And if you look at your life, it's pretty much based on your success is built off of your ability to neutralize shames, guilts, and traumas. Now, you're probably sitting here going, Mike, I came here. Can you tell me some marketing shit? Can you tell me some operation stuff? Guys, marketing, sales, operations, financial excellence. I'm going to tell you that's 20% of what it takes to crush any competition, to scale any company. The 80% is understanding everything I'm telling you, because most of you are the leader of the leaders. And if the leader has trauma, shames, and guilts, and the leader has negative self-talk, and the leader doesn't believe in what's possible, how could possibly anybody else that's following you make progress? It doesn't work that way. And I know that because I had 200 employees that worked for me in 2017. So let's go to COVID, because COVID is a little bit closer to us. Okay, it's a little bit closer. So you already know that 880,000 companies went out in 2008. Well, let's look at COVID. During COVID, okay, there was about 1.8 million businesses closed. 1.8 million businesses closed. That's a lot. That's a lot of businesses. So your goal is, when it comes time they ask me question, is how do you not be, if this is only US, I only ran US, everybody. And you know, I can't financially stamp these as approved. It's the research I did. The way I do my research is I do Google, I use a bunch of AI apps, I try to cross-pollinate them and get the closest average I can, right? So we're not going to do a financial approval on it, but does it really matter if it's 1.8 or 1.5 or 1? It's huge. It's catastrophic to an economy. Now, if you look at 2023, well, let's just look at 2024 here. 2024, we're already in 2024 over 25,000 business bankruptcies, which is a lot. And compared to, I don't look at how many, I look at compared to, I'm looking at trends. And I'd like you to write down trends and patterns. Go ahead, take your pen and write it down. Because every one of you have a trend and a pattern that's showing up. And that trend and pattern that's showing up is what probably keeps repeating itself and holding you back. It's holding you back from where you want to go. So if you could just step back a minute and go, wait a minute. How many of you noticed that you mess up when things are going the best? Give me a hand up. When things are going great, that's when you mess up. Yeah, bunch of hands go up, right? Because when things are going great, you start to lose focus on it. You're like, look, it's going great. It's probably going to go great for a really long time. So it's a 33.5 increase in 24 before the year before. So that's a little concerning for me. That's definitely a little bit concerning there. So we look at numbers not to scare us. We look at it as awareness. And let's do a little poll here. How many of you, we'll do 1 to 10, 10 being very, very best, 1 being very, very worst, no judgment, any number you have. How many of you know your business numbers so well you can hit a button and you know where you're tracking? Like, you know you're winning, losing, that's a 10. A 1 is, what the hell's math? So let's see where you guys are at. Okay, we got 10, 10, 4, 10, 3, 8. Okay, 1. Okay, so this is just a really good point here to say to yourself, hang on. If I don't know that the score is real, which is always every election, Jim, right? Every election, it's like, who counted the things wrong, and right? So there's the score is real, and then there's believing the score. And the way to believe the score is know that the damn score is real. So can you guys write down, I must keep score? Now, someone was just asking me this the other day about CFO and a fractional. Does anybody not know what a fractional CFO is or what a CFO is? Put a question mark in the chat bar. Don't feel weird about it at all. I remember one time somebody said the word, they said the word ROI, and I had no damn idea what it is. Okay, so all of you seem to know it. Oh, Stephen, so a fractional CFO, and CFO is Chief Financial Officer. So that's a person that's managing all the numbers at the highest level with strategy in a company. Fractional means they don't work in the company. It's a resource outside the company. Now, a lot of you may not be, Kevin Whalen says, cannot see or hear anyone. Well, we can see your post. So try again. So today we're in a world where you don't need a CFO. You can get a virtual assistant somewhere in the world for probably $5 or $10 an hour that has a damn bachelor's degree in numbers that can tell you every number from your electric bill to your products in your company for next to nothing, for next to nothing, right? And so if you're not keeping score, can you write a note down? 2025, I will keep good score. I will keep good score. Because when you keep good score, you know what you can spend and not spend. Unless you're selling a company, and maybe some people will agree or disagree with me, but unless you're selling a company, it doesn't really matter if you have tons of profit or you're going to use the profit to grow, because you're just going to pay, depending on where you live. Does anybody live in New Jersey? Type in New Jersey. You're just going to pay Uncle Sam a huge percentage of the money. So you might as well use the money for good that's going to move your company forward. But some of you just don't know where to put the money. And type in money if you just don't know where to put it. Is that true? Has that happened for you? Like, it's like, yeah, it's like, man, I got $5,000. Where do I put the $5,000? Do I do SEO? And then all of a sudden you have everybody that you're doing. How many of you ever used an SEO company and they kept convincing you that clicks are amazing and you wanted to throat punch them? Anybody? Type in the chat bar, throat punch. Okay, all right, not just me then. You know, that was a little snafu on our side. We called this training industry throat chop, but you know, Facebook, they'll show all kinds of really bad stuff, but they thought that name was a little too intense, so we had to call it over the top and create some confusion. But some of you, you don't know what to do with that money. And so you put it in a magazine or you put in a digital ad and you pray. We call that marketing prayers. Have any of you type in pray if you've ever done this? It's like, I'm going to give you $2,000 and I'm going to pray something comes out of it. And then it doesn't come. So then you pray that you're not going to choke this person because they took $2,000 and they want to tell you, well, you got all these clicks. You should feel good when you sleep tonight. And you're like, I would have felt a lot better if I got a lot of customers that said yes to buy a product or something. I do want to share with you guys, and I don't want to share it. I want to frame something here. I want to share with you a bunch of trainings we have coming up, but I don't want you to listen just for the trainings because a whole bunch of you already signed up. If you do the training or not, I want you to write it as an action item that you have to do it in your business. Is that fair? Can you type in fair? So I want to be clear about me. After doing 500 million in business, I mean, I do want to work hard to get you to do trainings that I know will change your life. But if you don't want to do them, it's okay too. Let me just tell you what you need to have in place. And then I'll give you a way if you want to sign up for something. And then I'm going to go into, we'll take a break and we'll go to strategies. And I have a special gift for anybody that makes it all the way to the finish line here. I have a special gift that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to show you the gift so you don't think it's like a pack of bubble gum or something. I'm going to show you the gift. So here's what we have in trainings, and I'll tell you why we have them. The first one we have, and I'll tell you the percentage sold out too. It's called Author Power. And if any of you are coming to Author Power, can you just type in Author Power in the chat bar? Team, put the date. It's January 10th to 12th. How many of you know, because this is going to be an action item for you, know that if you had a book and you were considered an author, you would make a lot more money and have a competitive advantage? Type in boom in the chat bar. If you don't know that, well, let me explain it to you. When I wrote my first book with Aaron, it took us probably about 18 months. It was a really big book. And it was a game changer in the service industry. Some of you, I bet you read it. You'll tell me in the chat bar. It was called Secrets of Business Mastery. And I would still put that book up against, a decade later, against any guru's book out there today. And if you don't have it and you're in a, probably, I would say any business, it will help. Secrets of Business Mastery. Now, that book not only created a competitive advantage, it put me on stages, it got me on TV, it got me on radio. Here's what I've learned now, a decade later. And I want to give you what nobody told me, because I wish they told me a decade ago. One book written properly is worth more than 1,000 Facebook posts. It's worth more than 500 blogs. It's worth more than probably 40 videos. You know why? Because the book is a superpower, and if it's presented strategically, makes you an authority. And most of you, including even me, and I'm going strong for decades now, always want to up-level their authority. And I'm 28 books now. So even if you don't want to attend the training, it's in person, it's for 25 people. And the goal is we do some pre-work. You spend 3 days in a private house. Some of you were at the Seaside House. So if you were at this Seaside House, type in house and say what the house is like. It's right over here. It's the same house. It's right by the bay. And in 3 days, we're going to build every part of that book, the chapters, that you're going to write. This is not a present for 3 days. This is what we're doing. And me, Aaron, and our team's going to walk around. And at the end of 3 days, we want you to have a book that builds authority for you. Now, you don't have to come to the training, even though I would tell you, stop spending money on big TVs and big cars. And people are wasting, there's the house in the chat bar. Thank you, team. They're wasting so much money on things that are not moving the needle, instead of being able to go to the TV station and say, I just wrote this book, and the radio station, and post online and have a super magnet. So if you'd like to come to that, I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. I have a form. You could click what you want to come to. We'll have a conversation. Everything's by application. And some of you probably see that online, and you're probably wondering, like, Mike, why don't you just tell people the price? It's not about the price. I don't care if people have a credit card. I care about who I'm going to spend 3 days with. And Kathy knows that. Jason, anybody that's spent time with us knows. Lisa knows that. I want to spend days with people I like to hang around with, and I got to make sure your intentions are right. If your intentions are to hurt people and the only thing you care about is trying to take fancy pictures of yourself in front of a plane you don't own, I'm just not interested in that. It's not where I'm at in life. So that's author power. The next one is marketing power. And if you're coming to marketing power, type in marketing. It's 3 days. It's January 28th to the 30th. Now, if you don't consider yourself a world-class marketer, I will just share with you that, and Aaron, I don't know if you could grab the 10 audits and dump it right in the chat bar. We're going to go in 3 days over 10 audits. And can you type in value? Are you getting value? Because I'm not presenting you a training. I'm presenting you what the hell you got to do anyway. It's part of the training here. That the way I built it is so you know what to do. Don't come to me, but you got to do it with somebody. But I feel if you want to shortcut it and eliminate pain and suffering, we're going to show you how to do it. So over 3 days, virtually, we're going to go through 10 different audits. And every audit we go through, not only are we going to teach it and show you how to apply it, you're going to pop it right into your company. And the goal is, after the 3 days, that you're better than 80% of the marketers out there. We're going to talk to you about how to do copy, understand positioning, how to be doing A/B testing. We're going to show you what we've done and what we do today for marketing. And tell me in the chat bar, go ahead, be as real as you want. I mean, do you think we understand marketing a little bit? Type in marketing in the chat bar. I think we understand it really, really well, because I've invested millions to learn, and I spent a lot of time. So you can look in there. We're going to do a personal brand audit, and we're going to tell you how to create your personal brand and start hitting social influences that makes you a superpower. All of you are going to want that. We'll show you the business brand audit. We'll go through marketing strategy audit, where we'll look through all the aspects of your marketing. Let me fix my camera here. My camera loves to get real close and personal when it knows I'm getting very excited. It's got clearly like a sensor in there or something. It's like, come on in. So we're going to do, okay, let's do this. Boom. We'll go through the marketing strategy audit, the customer experience audit. Now, I'm guessing most of you have never really sat down and deep dived with a pro. You'll tell me if you did. Your customer experience, from the time they see your marketing to the time they click a button, to the time they click a lead capture, to the time they show up for whatever you do, from the time they buy something, from the after they buy something, to how you keep in touch. You probably have never been taught how to define every aspect of that. And that's why at Gold Medal, my lifetime value in 7 years of a customer was $50,000 without having to throw voodoo and witchcraft on them. I didn't have to make up trickery names and try to manipulate people to buy, because we had a customer experience audit. We'll do a competitor audit, because if you want to win and scale a company, You must understand everybody around you, what they're good at, what they're not good at. So you're not better than better, but you're different. We'll do a sales funnel audit. So we'll talk about through that. We'll do a content marketing audit. So what do you build out there that's going to have a huge return over time? A digital advertising audit, social media present audit, and a PR and media audit. And I don't know anybody out there that has done a 3-day training that went through 10 strategic audits and made sure you leave with that. And that's why I built it. I built it not to play games. I built it to evolve you. Now, you guys can take a snapshot off of what's in the chat bar, and you can go and build all those and execute on those things. And your business is going to grow. I just had somebody just Facebook message me the other day. They say, you don't know me. You never met me. Hey, Mr. Jim Padilla. Hey, brother, from Gain the Edge. If you guys don't know Gain the Edge and Jim. And my man, Kevin Hughes. What's up, brother? Every time I look up, I see. And Matt Boyley. Everybody, type in the chat bar. Happy birthday, Matt. Happy birthday to you. All right, you're looking younger every day. So nobody's ever done this. Nobody's ever done this with this, and that's why we're doing it. Competitive advantage. So if you're interested in that, and the dates are the 28th to 30th. We have a relationship power event, and I think the only dates we have open for that is April 4th and 5th. Okay, April 4th and 5th, we have a relationship power. Aaron, is that correct? We don't have any space in the other one, right? I'm looking at the agenda here, and it's
Correct,
showing.
yeah, at this point, we don't have any space.
Okay, yep. So April 4th and 5th, if any of you are feeling like you're fist fighting in your relationship every day and you're blaming each other, there's maximum 18 couples. That's it. That could fit in the house. That's the capacity at the house. You could come out and hang around with other couple entrepreneurs. It is not therapy, everybody. So if you're doing relationship therapy, just, keep doing that. It didn't work in my relationship. We had to solve it a different way, and I'm going to help people how to evolve their relationships from what my wife and I have learned over 3 decades now, and it'll be a blast. So if you have not invested in your relationship, I will tell you this is what is built to enhance it, all right, and get you on the same page. It does not matter if the husband and wife or wife and husband are in the business together. Does not matter at all, okay? And so I would urge everybody to do that if you could squeeze in on that. Those already over 50% filled out because we only have 18 couples, so there's not that many couples could come. All right, and the last one here is leadership power. Now, leadership power is March 25th and 27th. That's the one that we have space in still. If you are not a leader that is leading your team where they are following you with hunger, like Spartan warriors, then I would say you might need leadership, okay? If your company is not growing the way you want, you need leadership. If you have a problem recruiting people, there's not a problem with skilled people. There's a problem with leadership. I know that because when I was really small, I told people, oh, it's hard to hire people. No, it's not hard to hire people. I was a shitty leader. When I improved my leadership, then guess what? People wanted to work for me, and I didn't pay them more than everyone else. I paid people lower than they could have made everywhere else, and they stayed for 18 years. Why? People don't come to work for companies. Write this down. They come to work for leaders. And feel free to give me a boom in the chat bar. So that's the trainings that are coming up. I'm going to show you right now if you're interested in any of those. I would tell you to take action, and we'll be taking a 2-song break in a minute. So if any of you have to pee, please just hold tight a minute. And we'll be putting a link in the chat bar, and I'll show you what the link looks like here. This link's going to be in the chat bar. So what you can do is you could fill out this link here, and you just go in here and click on whatever trainings that you want, okay? And we'll have a call. You either have a call with me or one of my team, or if you don't know which one to do, but you want to do something, just hit have questions about our program or events. Not only do we have, just so you know, these are just the trainings. And if any of you are interested in, we have a legacy program. I have a bunch of legacy members on here. And we also are going to be doing on-sites. So if anybody's looking for a strategic on-site in their company where they want us to come out for a day, it's going to matter of where it is and timing. But if you want us to come out for a day, pick your company completely apart and leave in a day and find you a couple $100,000 and have a plan for me on it. We got some on-sites. We also have some speaking opportunities. If any of you are looking for myself, my son, Aaron, or some people on our team to do any speaking to your company to help shift their thinking, we have some speaking opportunities. So yeah, anything that you need. And if it's something we don't do, you need an accountant, you need an attorney, you need a resource for health. Hey, just reach out to us. We want to serve you any way we can. If we have a connection, we'll make it. If we don't, we'll do our best to find it. If that sounds great, can you give me a little love in the chat bar for me and the team? Can I have a bit of love? All right, before we go to break, Rihanna, you put your hand down. Why did you was it like you were in school and you're like, come on, teacher, like get a grip. Can you pick me already? Okay, unmute yourself. And what do you got for me here?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now.
I unmuted myself because I wanted you to feel bad because you said you wanted to have a conversation with us. And then you put me on hold for like an hour.
Yeah. I was just challenging you.
And
So
I was
what
like,
is your
well, if
question
I
then?
just put my hand down, maybe he'll be like, wow, I should have called on her sooner.
You're giving me a lot of credit to think that I'm emotionally driven that way, but I love you either way. So what do you got for me?
Well, here's the thing. I have a terrible memory, so I had to write it down because it really had to do with what you were talking about at that time.
Do you want to switch the?
Yeah, turn yours off, maybe.
Can you turn your?
Hang on. Okay, sorry. Me and Lisa are sitting next to each other and we could only do one speaker at a time and we were doing hers. So then when I was talking through the thing, it was doing weird feedback. Anyway, all I wanted to say was I don't watch the news, not because it triggers me, but because I feel like there's a lot of things I can change in this world and that's not it. And I'd rather focus my energy elsewhere. That's all.
Okay.
That was
really
it because you said we were having a conversation. So
That's
I thought we were having a
absolutely right.
conversation.
And how many times have you said to yourself you don't remember things over the last couple of years?
Oh, I'm trying to stop doing that because, you know,
Perfect.
what you tell yourself is true. But I did write it down just in case.
Yes.
I don't know.
And you remembered that.
And,
so
and I
do,
remembered that I wrote it down.
So you do remember things. So
I do remember things.
You could stop telling people that now, right?
Yes.
And then you don't carry that identity any longer.
I remember all the things.
Boom. Everybody, let's give her a fist pump. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Thank you for raising your hand. Okay, everybody, here's what we are going to do now. It's 3:03. I'm going to play 2 songs. I don't know what 2 songs there are yet. After the 2 songs, we dig right back in. In the meantime, before the songs are playing, or if you don't need a break, the link for the form is there. Feel free to go out, click the things that you want to attend or have questions on, and we'll address it. Otherwise, here comes your first song. All right, looks like most people are back. So if you're back and ready, type in the chat bar, I'm ready. Type in the chat bar, I'm ready. So I know that you're ready and engaged. All right, there we go. Let me show you real fast this here. This is what I'm giving all of you at the end of this training. As long as you stay to the end, I'm giving you this right here. So this is called the Profit Power Playbook, $199. And at the end of the training, I'm going to give you a code and it's going to cost you exactly zero. And this will have all kinds of profit strategies that we apply in our own businesses. It is a kick-ass product here. So if you're excited about that, type in excited in the chat bar. My team will make sure that I don't forget to give you the code. And I tested the code last night and it takes it from $199 to 0 for you. So there's your gift if you're willing to stay strong through the whole training, Okay. The next thing is I have just a fun little video to shift your minds here. I was looking for a video that would tell us, you're going to find it really funny, but that would tell us how people are today. And I don't know if you ever watched this video, but it's really great because it has a lot about sales. It has a lot about people. So sit back a minute and let's watch this video. And even though it's a fun video, I do want you to tell me in the chat bar, either during or at the end of the video, what did you learn? Okay. All right, here we go. And give me a thumbs up when you could hear it playing. There you have it. So what was your takeaway besides how easy it is to create a incredible video to make a message across, like to get attracted? So that might not be all of your flares, but it does show, I think, a little bit about the temperament of people today, because I think some people are just reacting this way. Alan, I could definitely see you. Hey, Anthony Foster, nice to see you. Carrie, nice to see you. I could see, Alan, you putting together a video of something like this. All right, let's switch gears now. I want to give you, this is a cycle of economic events. We already talked about 2008, but I want to give you a couple more because I'm curious how many of you have actually lived through some of these. And also it's to show that, yeah, you've been through it. Other things will come. What Jim say? Everyone wants, yeah, they can have. That's right. Selling ACs made easy. Yep, there you go. So yeah, there's a ton of lessons from the video. I also find out I don't look at funny videos just to laugh, even though I did laugh at that one when I watched it. I look at videos to say, what's the strategy? Is it possible that this could be true in life, in the world today? If I was to leverage this type of video, what would I do with this? What's the power of one video? So a lot of thinking. If you go back, maybe Judy remembers this, but there was actually a savings and loan crisis, which was the late 1980s to early 1990s. Were you around doing stuff back then, Judy, at all? And then there was they had 1986 to 1995. So that was a really wild time. I was just out there getting into business at that time. That was like yesterday. Yeah. And then we had Black Monday, which was a big rocking one, 1987 that was. We had the Gulf War. Does anybody remember the Gulf War and what happened and the oil price shock that went on? And that was August of 1990 to 91. Then we had the dot-com bubble burst, right? And like, so when you're thinking about this election thing, and I think the biggest thing about this election is if you're a Trump fan, you all of a sudden have this false sense of the world's gonna flip in, you're gonna be wealthy tomorrow. And if you're not, then you might be doom and gloom. But if you just look at some of these, like the dot-com bubble burst, right? So that was you're dealing with that 2000 to 2002. And then that was with the NASDAQ crash. And then we had 9/11 attacks, right? You know the date of that. And then we had the recession. We talked about that, which was 2008. It was 2007 to 2009. And then we have the pandemic, which for most of us, it's the only pandemic we've ever experienced. When you talk to, grandparents that are really, really old, they're laughing at you like, they're like, what are you kidding me? Like, this is what you're panicked about? They didn't panic the same way as the other generations. And then some of them you may not know is this inflation surge. You probably felt it a little bit, but maybe not, identified it. And that became, late 2021 to 2022. And then, of course, we have the Russian invasion in Ukraine, which seems to be like, it hasn't stopped, but sometimes it stops in the news. Has anybody noticed that? Type in notice, like like they don't show it to you because they want to show you something else. But the reality is that stuff is still happening. And so what does that equate to for you guys as business leaders, owners? I would call it, catalytic impactors. Catalytic impactors are, and write down that phrase, catalytic impactors. Catalytic impactors are, hey, Kevin Henderson, nice to see you, brother. These are people that want to play a part in the world, and they don't want to just impact their life. They want to create a ripple of impact in the world, right? This is what Kathy is doing in the teen world. And a lot of you are doing, a lot of you are building on doing it, like Mark Lund and others. You want to build something that's going to create more. And somebody brought to me, they sent me a video, maybe it was one of you, about Tyson was saying about legacy, that he doesn't really give a shit about legacy because he'll be dead. Did anybody see that video? Type in video. Anybody see that? He was like, I don't care. Oh, maybe Eagle, maybe you sent it to me. Did you send that? Someone did. He's like, I don't care about legacy because I'll be dead. And what I thought was, that's not, legacy is not to remember you. Legacy is that what you leave behind still makes an impact on the world long after you're gone. That's what I feel legacy is. So I feel like he had a jaded description of legacies, like, yeah, I don't care when I'm dead. Well, I do want to create a legacy because I want to make sure that what I do today is still creating impact. So if every one of you just implement one thing, then guess what? It keeps going. Yeah, Justin, did you read that book, Die with Zero? It's a great book. And, it's really interesting. I don't know your perspective, Justin, but the way I looked at it was, zero is die with zero regrets to me. And some of that book is about also, at least my friend's translation that we talked about, is die with zero. Like you just burned out everything. Like there's no money left. It's like done. I'd like to teach you guys what I think are 3 really important models. I've only taught it privately. I haven't taught it publicly. I'd like to teach it to you guys. And the 3 of them are, there's a model called Pinnacles. And there's another model that is called the Foo Dog Powers, and another one that's called the Parthenon. And if you'd like me to teach those 3, can you type in teach it in the chat bar? I feel like every time I teach it, it has created another level of power for me and another level of results. And I also feel that it has created more power in everyone else. So I'd like to go into that right now with you guys. So buckle up, grab a fresh page so we can make some notes here. And can you type in, before we do that, let's do this. Take your notes real quick. And I want you to scroll down through your notes, and I want you to circle the top 3 things so far that you got. We're going for an hour and a half already, 90 minutes almost. I want you to circle the top 3 that you're like, I'm going to implement it. I'm going to change it. I'm going to shift it. There's no going back. And then I want you to type in all 3 in the chat bar, because I need to make sure I'm stacking on your learning. So do that now. I'll give you a little bit of thinking music. This will also give me a pulse on exactly where you guys are right now on things. So go ahead, circle 3 things, then type it right in the chat bar. You guys are doing great. Make sure everybody gets 3 items in the chat bar. You're knocking it out of the park. All right, everybody. Great job there. You guys are playing full out. I'm super proud of you for showing up and doing the work, because a lot of people are not doing the work and they're not getting the results. These 3 models that I'm going to teach you right now took a lot to build, because what I did was go back in time and say to myself, how do you, and it might be a question some of you think about, But like when I go back in time, how do you go from, I've been on my own since I'm 15 years old. So how do you go from at 15 years old trying to figure everything out? How do you feed yourself? How do you pay your own bills? How do you wash your own clothes? How do you do that at 15? To how do you then go to starting a company? How do you scale a company? How do you scale and sell multiple companies? And how do you get to the point where you've done over 500 million in companies? And these models are, I would call it a blueprint to move you forward to have the ultimate life, business, and wealth by design. That's what I would say there. And it's interesting. Just so you guys know, I'm wearing these blue blocker glasses because lately the whole I don't know, the whole thing on the screen is seems to be bothering my eyes a little bit lately. So or you could just say to yourself, Mike, you're wearing those to look cool, and I'm good with that too. So let's start drawing a little bit. Grab a fresh sheet of paper. When I think about what people want, I feel that people want to climb, at least it feels like this, right? It feels like there's this journey of mountains. And when I tried to just focus, on climbing the business mountain, I don't know about you, but when I climbed only the business mountain, it seemed like there was other things that sacrificed. And like I sacrificed relationship when I was only focused on business. And then, and maybe can you relate to this at all? Have any of you scaled your business and your relationship suffered a little bit? Or it could just be me. I get that. And then you go to build wealth. And as I was building wealth and focused, I found out, Aaron, that all of a sudden I'm now a person. And if I could save you guys decades of pain and suffering, I now am focused on wealth, and I have houses, and I have buildings, and I have companies, and I have portfolios, and I have all these people. And I have so much complexity in my life that now the business suffers because I'm focused on this wealth. And then when wealth and business suffers, you find out that your life is, you wake up one day and you say, like, what the hell did I miss? Did any of you ever do this? Like, did you ever wake up and go like, what happened? How did I get here? Is it just me? Or you can type in the chat bar, it's just you, Mike. I'm okay. You poke at me. I won't feel bad because I felt that way plenty of times. Like, it's got to be just me in the morning. You get up and you say, like, is this what everything is? Right? Am I just gonna get up again? And what I figured out is that there's these wheels, and the first wheel is this life wheel. And I don't have time on this training because there's a lot of other stuff I want to go through, but there is 10 pieces. So if you look at a hub in the middle here, there's going to be 10 different spokes of this life wheel. And if one of the spokes come off, I don't know about you, I was a BMX rider. Anybody else? I rode a Hutch Trickster with pegs on the back, and I used to surf it. Today I wouldn't think about doing that, surfing it down roads that if you fell, you were definitely dead. But if one of them spokes were bad, man, like if you tried surfing that thing, you were going to get hurt. So there's a life wheel, and there's 10 solid spokes of this thing. And the bigger the tread on the wheel of life, the more the wheel can start climbing. Now, I already shared at the beginning 90 minutes ago, if you look at one of these parts of the life wheel, right, we have our mind. And if our mind is off, and our mind is constantly bashing us with disempowering beliefs of what we don't have, what we can't get, and everyone else is lucky. And if I only won the lottery, I don't play the lottery, I don't gamble. I put myself as I am a self-creating economy. And if I learn a lot, I'll create a better economy. And if I don't learn a lot, I'll create a shittier economy. But the economy, if I base my results of the economy based on what the government wants to give me, well, then I am going to have to settle for their economy. I don't complain about the cost of eggs and the cost of gas because that's a slave to the public economy. I create my own economy, and I learned that the more optimized I am as a human. Now, I don't expect you to be like me because some of this stuff, I get it. It's hard. I mean, I'm an Italian guy that eats no bread. Like, what the fuck, right? Like, I mean, I was brought up on Italian bread. Me and my wife used to put cheese on that. But I want to be optimized to get to where I want. So I don't eat gluten for 18 years. I don't drink caffeine. I don't wake up and go, I can't function without a coffee because I don't want to be a slave to anything. And if you could write down a note, write this down and ponder this over the next couple of days. Ask yourself a question through the holidays. What are you feeling you're a slave to? And the next question is, how do you kill the slave master? Because if you feel you're a slave, there's a master. The goal is, how do you remove the master? So what did I do? I removed caffeine. Now, I was never a coffee drinker. I was a caffeine tea drinker, but I don't do that 18 years. No caffeine. Never did drugs my entire life. Never drank alcohol my entire life. And I'm not saying it to brag to you. I'm saying we live in a world of the more optimized your life is, the thicker the tread, the more you can move up this business, head towards this business. We call this model the pinnacles. We call this model the pinnacles here, the Food Dog pinnacles. And the Food Dog pinnacles are, if we go here, there's another wheel. And when this wheel here is dialed in, which also has 10 pies of the wheel, and we connect that tread to this tread, we now start to create a tank. We get bulletproof. We get strong. We get the ability to start climbing up towards that wealth. So if you look at this, it's intuitive probably for you to say, wait a second, I'm probably not getting to the business level I want because my life is not at the level it needs to be. When you get your life level to the end, if you're carrying shames and traumas and guilts, it's hard to optimize yourself because you keep saying, this is what happened to me. This is what happened to me. You don't understand, Mike. I was bullied. I was taken advantage of. I was abused. Yeah, I get it. Everybody has a story, and I'm not making light of your story. I'm just saying, if you optimize the life wheel, you'll then optimize the business wheel. You go up the mount, and then there's another wheel in the pinnacle. And this wheel here, this one here, is the wealth wheel. Now, when you get the life wheel and the wealth wheel, I mean the life and the business wheel, and the wealth wheel starts going, holy mackerel. This becomes what we call life, business, and wealth by design. And for some of you, it could feel so far away. It really can. And it could feel like there's no hope, no possibility. And I promise you, it's just because you don't know the next best thing to do. Not right or wrong. I don't believe in rights, wrong, goods, bads, positive and negatives. I believe that's all based on the definition you give it. The election just taught you that. The election, like one person said that was the best thing, the other one said that's hell. So there is no right and wrong. It's just your belief system of how you want to believe. And is it moving you forward or pulling you back? So if you look at this, it's about the next decision you got to make, but not making it alone. And if you're making the decisions alone, it's very hard to move forward because you're taking your best guess. And if you wanted to become wealthy, I bet if Warren Buffett was telling you what to do with your money, would you probably have better chances of winning than if your neighbor told you about money? Tell me, unless your neighbor's Warren Buffett, then that just backfired on me, right? But if your neighbor's not Warren Buffett, you want somebody who's been where you want to go and know that you want to go there. Okay. So type in, what is your big takeaway from the Pinnacles? Because you need to understand all three: life, wheel, business. And now I don't have time. There's 10 of each one and 30. And if we went through all 30, we would go to 8 o'clock tonight. And even though a bunch of you would stay here, we would lose track of time, right? Lose track of time. Maybe we'll do a separate one if all of you want it. Separate one on the life wheel, a separate on a business wheel, a separate on a wealth wheel. If anybody's interested in that, just type in interested, and we'll talk about it. The legacy members, you guys know we do a full-blown planning at the end of the year that's called Season 2025, where we'll be deep diving into, in the legacy group, every single section of this with a strategy to put in place. So when you come out of January 1st, 2025, you are already have momentum. Like you don't crawl, sit, New Year's Eve, and then start to run. You start jogging right now and slam into 2025, full-blown sprint. That's the difference between winning and scaling and losing and pondering, right? If you want to create your own economy this year, this is an economy mountain. You want to go up the mountain, you want to win, boom, this is where we are. Okay. If you got it, give me a big old boom in the chat bar. Give me a boom in the chat bar, because I want to make this is very impactful when you can see the correlation of all three pieces and how they work together. Now, once you understand the Pinnacles, we then want to go into what we call the food dog powers. Now, the food dog powers have a couple different things in it. So let's draw together. Make yourself a really big circle here. Make yourself a big circle here. And within the circle, let's draw a little circle in the middle. And then what I want you to do is I want you to make almost like a peace sign. So I want you to put a line. You didn't know you were coming to drawing class. Hopefully I'm removing all your trauma from childhood art class and stuff for you. See, you can draw, and it's amazing. And what I want you to do on the first bottom line here is I want you to put like a little smile face there. And underneath that smile face, I want you to write skill power. Now, skill power is the skills you need that you don't have, because the phrase is, and I do believe in this phrase, that's why I'll say it, what got you to where you're at will not get you to where you want to go. You have that? What got you to where you're at will not get you where you want to go. I've never been able to prove that different for myself. In order to get to places that you want to go that you've never been at, we need skill power. Now, the thing about skill power is most people are focused on doing things that are not solving the things. Tell me if you've ever done this. Did anybody ever recommend a book on Facebook? We'll just use Facebook. And someone of influence said, this is an amazing book. And you went and ordered the book and read the book. True or not true? Tell me in the chat bar. Did you ever do this? True or not true? True. So you ordered this book. Hey, Ryan, nice to see you. Paul. And the book, though, is a book of knowledge, but does not solve your most immediate problem. What happened there? So I paid a guy $3,500 an hour. Holy camole. This was huge back then, probably 18 years ago. When this guy said $3,500 an hour, we'll meet, I think it was every other week I swallowed twice. Did you type in, did you ever swallow twice? Like, holy camole. But I thought, man, if a guy that charges $3,500 an hour, this stuff's going to be good, right? It's going to be good. So I asked him, I said, he did. He gave me something at that time for $3,500 that made me millions. I'm not exaggerating, millions of dollars. It's something that no one else would know, no books, you would never trip over it in lifetime. And in the end, I said, what should I be reading from now till next time we meet? And this changed my life. And I want to gift it upon you to change yours. He said to me, what is the number one problem you're dealing with? And I said at the time, culture. He said, perfect. He goes, you have two choices. He says, buy 5 books on culture. He goes, and you're going to get a result. He goes, read every book until you solve it. He says, if you get to page 5 or 10 and it solves your culture problem, he says, give all the 5 books away to someone else with a culture problem. I said, okay. He says, and you'll get there. I'll get you there quicker. He said, number 2, go find the number 1 person on culture and go pay them to teach you. Say, how much does it cost? And he says, the difference is you'll solve something in an hour versus solving it in weeks or months. Because I don't know about you. You know, sometimes I got 5 books I'm reading. It could take me a year to get through 5 books. I start one, I start the other. They're next to my bed. Look, I'll just show you guys something, just so you believe me, right? This is the books I just got. That's the books I just got the last week. So clearly I have a book problem. So don't judge me by, now that's only there. There's another 10 right there. So clearly I have an addiction to books, but really what I do is I have an addiction to wisdom. I have an addiction. I did, Kathy. I probably got rid of 1,000 books and I now have 250 back in my house again. So clearly they call that addiction to wisdom. But back to the solving the thing. He says, look, you could get books and it will move you forward. You could hire a person and it will save decades for you. So that's what skill power is. Now, skill power, just so you know, it's broken into 3 areas. The first area, I'll change color for you guys, is this area. And this is training. So right, training. Training is what you're doing right now. We're training together. I'm giving you training. I'm giving you insight. I'm giving you wisdom. I'm giving you knowledge. And I'm not giving you something you don't need. I'm giving you something everybody I feel needs to hear right now. I feel everybody needs to hear this information today. I do. I believe every business owner needs to know it. So you got to have a sense of training, but training alone is not enough. You also need, draw another line, you need coaching. And you need coaching by someone that understands all the paradigms of life, business, and wealth. Because if you could have the best coach in the world, but if he's way overweight and can't breathe and eats like crap, there's going to be a consequence to being surrounded around that person. I know that. I had a coach that was really smart and ate really bad. So I learned a lot and started to kill my own health. If you can relate, give me a hand up. Yes? Can you relate? Yeah. So you need to be coached by someone that is, I would say, organically aligned with where you want to go and how you want to get there. So when you see me on social media, and I'm sure you see me poking at people saying like, look, and it's true, if you come to one of our events, which I hope you do, there's no drugs, there's no alcohol, we're not smoking cigars. I'm okay you do that. I'm not okay it's done around me. I don't want to breathe it. I don't want to be near it because I understand the vibration of behaviors. And you might want to write that down. There's a vibrational harmonic effect of being around people that live at a balance of the realm of what I would call healthiest or healthier versus not. Same thing. You get around the vibration of a whole lot of people that are driven by just abusing people, taking advantage of people. You could be as pure and religious clean as you want. It's going to rub off vibrationally. And by the time it's vibrationally, subconsciously, you don't even know it happened. Some of them are programming you for it. The last part down here is managing. Managing is you need someone that can help you keep on track. Like, are you moving forward or moving back? Like, where are you? But managing is an interesting thing. And I want you to write a phrase down. You want people to be responsible to you, not for you. Like, I'm responsible to you here, which means I'm here to serve you, give you knowledge and wisdom. I can't be responsible for you because now coaching people for decades, I gave 2 people the same exact information. One wins, one loses. One loves their relationship, one hates it. One's making lots of money, one's losing. And when I used to peel back, because I had nothing really better to do, but examine them under a microscope, I found out the one that was winning was holding themselves, right? I was accountable to them, not for them. They had accountability themselves. They took the info and implemented. If it didn't work, they didn't quit. They stayed engaged 100%. They asked good questions all the time. The people that didn't win, that said they did everything, I looked at it. They never completed the project. They ran the postcard and never checked the stats. They made money, but they never tracked the money. Their process that they give their team was verbally not written. They had a dashboard in their mind, not written for people. Do you see this? Tell me you understand in the chat bar, please. Tell me I'm tracking here. Because this is the difference. If you look at the skill power, you can't just have one, you need 3. And anywhere within the 3, you have the whispers of the negative trees. You will, like, chirping at you, your training will suffer. If someone's chirping at you, like, why are you on? It's dinner time. Why are you on this training? Chirp, chirp, chirp. You're now not being coached. Where are you? Shouldn't you be home? Get this. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Now you're not being managed. And because you haven't gained the skills to manage the chirping of the outside world. Does that make a sense? Like, you could either listen to the bird outside, you could kill the bird, I guess, and eat it, or you could just move the bird feed to another yard and let that bird go chirp in the neighbor's ear. I'm really good at relocating the bird chirping. I'm like, hey, Mr. Bird, I'm not going to feed you no more because I don't want to listen to you no more. So I'm going to relocate you to the neighbors because they love chirping birds. If that makes sense, give me a boom in the chat bar, please. Now we're going to go back to the circle here, and I want you to put another line like this in the top right. See where I did this on the top right? And in the top right here, we now have what we call mind power. Now, tell me in the chat bar, please, who, and team, you know I'm about to ask for something. You'll see in a second. Who has not read the book Mind Power? Just type in power in the chat bar, question mark, so I know. Who's not read the book Mind Power? Like, I don't care if it's in a stack of books like this. Did you read it? Team, get the link for them to get the free digital copy of Mind Power. Okay. Those of you that did not read, look at how fast they are. There's the link. They're going to keep posting it for you. I just gave it to you free. You're welcome. Those of you that read it, take the free link, send it to your family. Save yourself money and time, everybody. That's what I would tell you, because if your family's feeding you the chirping world of shit, give them the book Mind Power so they could change, and then they'll be aligned with you. There is not an audiobook. We're working on that. Audiobooks for a whole bunch of our books right now. Okay, we're working on it. Okay, stay tuned. But for now, read it or take the audiobook and throw it in. You probably could throw the audiobook, I mean the book we gave you, the digital version, in ChatGPT and tell the thing to read it to you, and then you could have story time, right? So there's your hack. If you need an audiobook because you want me to talk to you before you go to bed, just say, sound like Mike, aggressively intense, and while I'm going to sleep, curse a little bit. Okay, that will serve you well. All right, but when we talk about mind power, there's 3 components of mind power we got to have. Just so you guys know, I wrote a book called 9 Pillars. I tried to break the book, and finally I broke it, and I evolved it to the Food Dog Power, which has evolved and created more impact today than anything else that we've created. So that's what I'm giving you right now as a gift. The first one that we have is the subconscious. And if you can't read my spelling, my team is amazing. Can you just put love in the chat bar for my team? They're the ones putting all the notes for you and saving you time. So just put love you team, because they're incredible what they do. I've never been on another training on Zoom ever, still to today, from the greatest in the world, they say, that functions as well as the Food Dog team does. So thank you, team. As the mind, there's the subconscious. We spoke about that. The subconscious is everything you've experienced in life. If you were hit, smacked, or loved, if you were kissed, your first time you've had fun with somebody, when you were married, when you had babies, everything. It's in your subconscious mind, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Which, if we have things in our subconscious mind that are not serving us to our greatest life, business, and wealth by design, well, then we have to address that. That's got to be one of our core things to address, is our subconscious mind. It's one of the things we work at in Food Dog Group in our different levels of programs, and all our programs, as you know, if you've attended anything in the past, we want to tackle the subconscious. Once we do that, boom, now I can give you new skills. It's the secret power that for some reason, most of the people teaching stuff, because I don't know about you, like I went to amazing things and then nothing changed. Why? Your mind didn't change. Your mind, your next one, the conscious mind, might have processed, whoa, this is amazing. This is incredible. What a great resource and tool. But your subconscious said, why are you going to do anything with it? You failed in the past. Don't you remember you got hit as a kid? Don't you remember your ex-husband told you you sucked and were nasty? Don't you remember your neighbor, right, crashed into you and said you deserved it? So your conscious great idea gets destroyed in the subconscious side of things, right? All of a sudden it's there and it's like, what just went down, right? It's like, what just happened here? What just happened? And so we have to make sure our conscious is going to the subconscious computer. Now, do any of you still work your business off of Commodore 64 computer? Some of you don't even know what the hell that is, right? Tara, you know what it is, right? Commodore 64. It's like one of the first computers. My best friend was able to make a Pac-Man move. Like, I couldn't do anything on it. I just wasn't intelligent enough for that thing. But he's probably a trillionaire now, right? Like Bill Gates, he knew how to do things and stuff, these guys. But you're not running your business off of a beeper. You don't have a beeper, which means, how is your subconscious mind? Is it an Apple MacBook Pro latest edition? I don't know. I got this new MacBook Pro. He's like, how much memory? I'm like, what? He's like, well, 4 terabytes. I'm like, sounds good. Can you run like an alien chip off it? He's like, probably 3 alien chips. I'm like, give me the 4. Like, and you're never going to fill up 4 terabytes. It's ridiculous. But if I have to run an alien chip, I want a 4 terabyte, because I don't want to be working my life off of a dated system. If that's making sense, can you give me a boom in the chat bar, please? A boom in the chat bar. Okay. The next thing is, if, or I should say, when you evolve your mind power, your subconscious is dialed in. You're not triggered by guilts and shames and traumas in the past, and you were broke or you are broke now. Your conscious mind will function better, and then you'll get to what we call the super conscious. The super conscious, if you want to get a good feel of super conscious, I'm going to talk to just the women in a minute, but watch the response, men. How many of you women have what we would call a super, almost like a super sense of intuition in your gut? And you say to yourself, my gut, a spidey sense, Kathy says, right? This is for you. And the more clear your mind is, the more clear your subconscious, the more you're in tune with, Judy calls it her core. Kathy calls it spidey sense. Some call it gut. That is very close, that intuition, to what we would call super conscious. And without getting too deep into it, because this is not about energy, it's tapping into the field. My team put a spider. That looks creepy, but that's good. All right, a little aftermath of Halloween. Put a Christmas tree or something in there, okay? All right. So now we got to finish the last ring here, everybody. So draw the third ring here. And if you're digging this model, the Food Dog Power, can you type in digging in the chat bar? Do you understand? I hope you're staying I can't see all of you because I'm sharing my screen. Are you staying laser focused? Because this is the superpower of superpowers. So now the next one, as you know, nothing can happen without action power. Action power. Some of you, you just need someone to grab your arm and go, let that, you probably can't read that, but it's in the, I promise you, it says action power. I'm writing like this, but you just need someone to grab your arm and say, come with me, walk forward with me, do this now, push the button. But there's three components, and we talked about it a little bit before. The first component is you have to have clarity. You can't take massive action on vagueness. Write it down. You cannot take massive action on vagueness. I want to grow my company. Okay, you want to grow it in customers? You want to grow it in resources? You want to grow it in money? You want to grow it in profit? You want to grow it in impact? Like, I don't even know what grow my company is. So if it's vague, you have nothing. So you need ultimate clarity. The next thing is alignment. This happens with a lot of people because now you go like this. I'm going to build an empire. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to do this. And someone else goes like, don't tell me don't have Doritos in the house. You don't have to smoke, but why do I have to not smoke? You don't have to drink, but I still want to drink in the home. So there's no alignment. How many of you have not gotten to where you want to go because there's no alignment with the closest people in your life? Tell me in the chat bar, yes or no, right? There's no alignment. And if there's not alignment, I got news for you, Ryan. There's not alignment. There's probably resistance. Is that true? Type in true if that's true. If there's not alignment, there's probably resistance. And the higher level of resistance you have, it will then get rid of alignment. And then your clarity goes away because you don't believe it's possible. And we decided to do the relationship event this year. We've done them in the past. We haven't done them in probably over 4 years now. We decided to do it. Why? Because we know in 2 days we could create a clarity, alignment, and we could create the last one, which is accountability. Accountability. And if we can get a relationship to have clarity, alignment, and accountability, we could go and help the relationship on their mind power. Each one of the person in the couple, remove their traumas, their shames, their guilts, allow their conscious to function to their subconscious. They'll tap into superconscious. And we'll do that with some training, coaching, and managing. And then you will have mind power, skill power, and action power. Am I tracking? Type in tracking if this is like, are you feeling this? I hope you're feeling this. Now, there's only one part missing here. There's only one part missing. It's the circle in the middle. The circle in the middle is actually like the nucleus, I think they would call it. It's the part that if this doesn't exist, nothing exists. I'm going to draw a line out so I can write it down here. It's energy. You could draw it right in the middle if you want. It's energy. And everything is energy. And if you don't have energy in how you function, you don't have energy in how you want to grow your business, if you don't have energy in improving your health, if you don't have energy, and the energy you focus on is going to expand. So if you're looking at your empty checkbook, it's going to expand, not bigger, it's going to expand less because you're focused on what? You're focused on scarcity. Now, someone just broke up scarcity for me. I thought it was amazing. I want to share it with you because I thought it was incredible. He said, scarcity is scar city. And I said to him, boom, that was good. I've never heard that before. Scarcity is scar city. It means you're probably not getting to the money or the wealth or what you desire because you have some form of scar, which is probably shames, guilt, or traumas of some kind. So looking at this food dog power model here, tell me what is the most impactful thing about this model for you? What is the most impactful part of this model for you? And I'm going to take it down a minute before we draw the next one so I could look at all your smiling faces here. Action power. Yeah, action power. Yeah, and when you think about action, Kathy, a lot of times action is restricted. I should turn on a little more light for you. I got these glasses on. I can't tell how bright it is. Action power is restricted by a couple things: worthiness and certainty. Worthiness and certainty. Some of you tell me, and it's probably different, how many of you are not taking your life to the next level because you're just not, you don't have certainty enough? Go ahead, type in certainty. You're just like, I don't have enough certainty. Because if you had certainty, man, certainty doesn't stop. Like, certainty is relentless. Certainty just, it gets it done. Some of you are not where you want because you don't feel you're worthy. How many of you don't feel worthy? Type in worthy. You're like, I'm just from this town. I'm just from this place. I used to say, I'm just an electrician. Translation: you're not worthy, Mike. I'm just a kid that was on his own at 15. You're not worthy. You're just a tattooed guy with boots and a chain wallet and tattoos. You're just not worthy. And if you look at not worthy and certainty, this is buried inside your subconscious mind. There's a time that something, some experience has made you feel this way. And we got to find a way to rip that out, to rip it out. Because on the other side of that is a sense of freedom. I mean, put yourself in the shoes. Put yourself in shoes right now. Let's do it real quick. We're going to do it real quick. Put your pens down a minute. I'm going to do this. Put your pens down. Put your pens down. Push the shit back a minute. Push the stuff back. Let me get something on here for you. We're going to do a little something. I want, make sure your feet are planted on the ground. You could have shoes on. It's perfectly fine. Let's do this. Try to remove any distractions real quick. Like, hey, kids, dog, stop. Like, give me 3 minutes. Just tell everybody, yo, 3 minutes. Don't bother me. Okay. Flip the phone over, put it. Okay. And I just want to take you through a little mind thing real quick. It will be a short little mind one. So we could create a little bit of impact here for you. So I want you to take, and I'm the only one that can see you. So when you close your eyes, I'm the only one here. So take a really big breath in. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and just breathe out and let your shoulders and everything go like this. And just settle in a minute there. Settle in, because you may needed that good breath after the day or the week or the weekend or 2024. Take another deep breath in. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and breathe out slow and calm. Very slow and calm, like shh. But smile a little bit. It's okay to smile, everybody, right? Shh. There you go. And one more deep breath in. Breathe in, breathe in. Sip in a little more, like you're saying, a little more. And close your eyes and breathe out really, really slow. There you go. Your eyes should be closed, and just listen to me. Just listen to me. And I want you with your feet on the ground. And if you're driving, please don't do this. Just listen, but keep your eyes open. I want you with your feet on the ground just to feel really planted, really grounded. Almost as if there's roots coming out of your feet that are holding you tight. I want you to feel a sense of strength, a sense of power, a sense that if somebody tried to even push you, they could not knock you down. You would be huge and strong like the Pinnacles Mountain. Your feet are grounded. Just keep breathing. And anywhere inside your body where there's any resistance, if there's resistance in your back or resistance in your feet or your hands, every breath in, breathe in strength and power, love. And when you breathe out, see that pain, any aches, any problems just melting away. Just see it as you breathe out, disappearing, shrinking, removing. And you just keep your pace, breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and breathe out. Now I want you to bring a sense of certainty into your body, because your lungs are certain how to breathe. Your heart is certain how to pump. Your veins are certain how to do their job. Your tendons are certain how to function with your bones and muscles. Your muscles are certain. They're on your body. Your skin is certain. Your eyes are certain right now. Your fingertips are certain. Your toes are certain. And I want you to just embody certainty. What does certainty feel like and look to you right now? If you were to bring some kind of image in your mind of what you think certainty is, what would it be? Would it be a mountain? Would it be a waterfall is certain? Would it be Iron Man image is certain? Embody certainty, knowing that you know who you are right now. You're a person here learning, evolving, training, growing, expanding, growing your mind, and embody that certainty right now. Ramp it up a little more. You know how you turn on a dial and you turn the dial and the volume goes up? Just not too much. Turn up certainty just a little more to the point your shoulders stand up a little bit. Your chin comes up. Your eyes are still closed. Your chest is up. Your breathing is with confidence. Your mind is focused on yourself and my words. And turn up the volume of certainty just a little bit more. Feel the strength coming into your hands and your arms, your legs and your feet, your body. And turn up certainty just a little bit more. And settle into that certainty right there. What's possible now within this level of certainty? More clients, more customers, more profit, making decisions without stress or anxiety. What can you have within this level of certainty right here? How will you have conversations? How will you step forward? How will you make decisions with this level of certainty right now? And now I want you to bring in worthy. There you go, worthy. Feel worthy, because you're worthy. You're worthy to me. You're here. I'm here with you. I want you to feel worthy. You're worthy of greatness. You're worthy of amazing health. You're worthy of incredible relationships. You're worthy of building the company you want. You're worthy of the career you desire. You're worthy of life, business, and wealth by design. And if you have anything that's saying you're not, go back to certainty again. Plant your feet harder. Lift your chest up higher. Pull your shoulders back more. Because within certainty and worthiness, you will have results and start moving forward. Embody this moment right here inside of you. Lock it in as something that's not a couple minutes of time, but something you choose to have your mind play over and over. I am certain I am worthy. I am certain I am worthy. I am certain I am worthy. Take a nice deep breath in and breathe out, but keep that sense of certainty and worthiness. Breathe in again, feel strong, powerful, and breathe out. And one more breath in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. And when you're ready, open your eyes and shake your body out a little bit. Feel whatever little creaks and aches have been in your body, shake it out so they no longer exist. And go to the chat bar and type in, what happened for you? What did you feel? What has changed for you? Tell me what you feel in your mind, what you feel in your body. Did any aches and pains go away? Confidence, I love that. Strong, shift of confidence, powerful, refreshed, love myself, freedom, gratitude, confidence in me, strong, grounded, gratitude, stability. I felt weight drop off, peace, no pain, shredding crud. I love that. Felt lighter, more confident, action without certainty, no limits, clarity, calm, relax, calm. There you go. So what you see here, let's go back to the diagram. Thank you for playing full out. When we go back to the diagram here and you look at this, so because I don't want you to just know the process or felt the process, I want you to know what was happening there. We were doing an exercise with you, right? so that you can go to a subconscious level and a conscious. And did any of you, tell me in the chat bar, did any of you disappear at all? Like all of a sudden you came back, you're like, what, like how long was that? Where did any of you feel like you escaped a little bit? If not, it's okay. Yeah, Kathy, because you went from the subconscious to the conscious to the superconscious, where your mind goes boom out. A lot of you probably do meditations and stuff, and I've done meditation for well over 3 decades. I believe meditation gets summarized into one thing: to give yourself space to connect to another level, to solve something. That's it. I know a lot of people, they do TM and all these different meditations. Meditation is the ability to tap into space and time, okay? Now, if you also look at it, we had clarity, alignment, and accountability, right? We talked about certainty and worthiness, certainty and worthiness. And then you had training, coaching, and managing, with the whole thing is, how many of you feel a higher level or a different level of energy inside your body? Type in energy, type in energy. And that's what, you got a small little sample of what we do and what needs to be done to keep evolving you past the things that are causing scarcity or scarcity. Okay. All right. Before we go into the model, I do have another model, but I'm pretty sure that I'm a little over on a pee break. If you'd like a quick little pee break, Lisa's smiling, so she must have had to hold it for a little bit. So good job that she answered it for me. I am going to play 2 songs, which might be about 6 or 7 minutes. Go take your pee break, at least get up, stretch out, and drink some water, please. Drink some water. When we come back, we'll do the Parthenon model. Go ahead, go drink. I'll find you a good song to listen to. I'm going to stand and stretch my legs also. And I'm watching you, so at least get up and move your feet a little bit. And drink water, please. Drink water. All right, come on back, everybody, and grab a fresh page inside your notebook, please. Grab a fresh page inside your notebook. And yeah, I'd like to ask you 2 questions to fill out in the chat bar for me, and then we're going to go right into the Parthenon here. Question number 1 I'd like you to answer for me is, and only be truthful, what has been the value for you of this industry throat chop training up to this point? We're it's 4:30, so we're 2.5 hours in. If you could give me how valuable has this training been? Okay, how valuable has this training been? I want to make sure we're knocking it out of the park for you. And I still have a lot that I have to get done here. So priceless, I will take that. Awesome. Yes. I'd like to see something from everybody. Okay, importance of certainty. Awesome. Massive value. Needed this. All right, priceless. Okay, massive value. Okay. Good. Making me feel extra love today. Second question, which would be really helpful for me. A lot of you have been in my world a long time. If someone said to you, and answer this question for me, if you can, it would be really helpful. And I'm curious at this point. Food Dog Group is a blah, 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 blah. What are we? Food Dog Group is what? A solution to shift people, life, business, wealth, design. What would you say Food Dog Group is? Just curious. I'm one of these curious people. Is an asset. Oh, thank you. Collective of life-minded go-getters. Ryan. Oh, I love that. Catalyst. Leadership. All right. Nice stuff. Thank you for all that. Finish up everyone else. Hey, team, capture those. And if I'm ever having a bad day, can you just show me all of this, please? Because they'll just make me feel so good here. Let's draw a diagram. I've already started 2 pieces. And you're going to do this. Where are we at here? Here we go. So draw yourself a little rectangle across the bottom here and a triangle across the top, just like I have here. And thank you for all the feedback, guys. Super helpful for me. As you know, we want to impact over, I keep moving it, but we want to impact over 1.3 million people or more. And it used to be a decade or less, but we're shrinking that time because I feel like we are making a lot of impact faster than we even thought. So we're excited about that. So thank you for helping us change the world. That's what we want to do. So on the bottom one, this is called the food dog Parthenon. Okay. If you're like me, you might need the spelling of things, even though I did get an English award because everybody else in vocational school was pretty stoned. So they had to give the award to somebody. So I got it because I was probably the only one that didn't do drugs. So I do have a fake gold pen for that. I can maybe even show you someday. I probably have it somewhere. So this is the Parthenon. Now, when we build a Parthenon, it's got to be built on a foundation. And the way I look at it is, we spoke a little bit about this before, legacy is built, right, on a foundation. And if this foundation is on sand, which I live down by the beach area in New Jersey, the Jersey Shore, well, you don't want to build a foundation on sand. You want a foundation. Now, I'm a son of a mason. Okay. My dad was a mason, not around no more. He passed last year, but he was an incredible mason, could do stonework, concrete. He would tell me, like, you got to put rebar in it. You got to put steel in there. You got to use this, I don't know what they call it. It was like some code, like 3,000 level concrete. And he would build it and it would never move. It would never move. So a legacy is built on a foundation. Now, freedom, let's go up the top here. Freedom, I've learned, is fueled by personal growth. The biggest delusion that I've had a couple times in my life is that I have personally grown my mind enough to get to where my results would catch up to my mind. The minute I learned that that was what I would call a personal delusion, to think that there is actually a time you've learned everything you needed to get to everywhere you want to go, I just couldn't figure that out. I learned that for me, and maybe it's different for you, you'll tell me in the chat bar, that personal growth has to be fueled constantly. So when people say, what do you do, Mike? I say, well, not what I do. What do me and my whole team do? We're in multiple groups. We have multiple coaches. We have one coach. His job is to listen to us. Normally it's every Monday at 1 o'clock. We share everything we're doing. And I just want him to let me know, does anything seem stupid? We pay him a lot of money just to say, that might be, he doesn't use the word stupid. He's very kind. It's my words. I want him to talk more intense to me. I want him to be like, that's stupid. Why are you doing that now? Does that make sense now? Right? Is that ever return on investment, return on time, return on scalability? Is it still feeding your life and business and wealth by design? So the minute you think you stopped personal growth, I believe things start to unwind like this, start to unwind. That's why you got to keep pushing through. And it's just like the stock market, right? It's like this. It's like when it goes up and you break through a ceiling, it creates what? A new floor. You don't want to go back down through the floor. But when your personal growth is not there, you start chipping at the floor again. And then you break through the floor. And then this here, this is where life has hit rock bottom, right? I have no money. The relationship fell apart. The kids are falling apart. Like everything feels like it's falling apart. It's like all of a sudden, welcome to the gateway of hell, right? And I understand all of this all too well. I promise you that. So within this, when we examined the past, not the present and not the future, when we examined the past of what we did, we found out that there was a whole bunch of powers that fuel a pillar to hold up freedom and create a foundation of legacy wealth. So I'd like to give you the powers, and you're going to see how it makes sense. And then you're also going to see the solutions we have for the powers. So power number one is leadership power. Now I'm going to try to write this in there, but my team will type it in the chat bar. Leadership power. Now, the reason why leadership power is so important is because every one of you are leading somebody, even if it's just trying to lead yourself. And that can be complicated. Can that be complicated, leading yourself? Type in complicated in the chat bar. Right? It could be complicated just to lead yourself. Get up in the morning and go into your office and your work. And, you know, especially as business owners, anybody who's a business owner understands pressure. Anybody who's not a business owner, you have what's called perceived pressure. Now, you have pressures of others in your life, but I promise you, a business owner, they're fighting for the livelihood of the people all the time. Now, the stronger your leadership skills, the easier it is to get to the next level and move up, right? Move up the pinnacles. And as you move up the pinnacles, you got to remember, as your life, business, and wealth grow, let's say it grows to 5 million, the life wheel's dialed in, your health. Like, I'm working on reversing my age. I'm doing really good at it. I got another blood test coming up. We'll see how I'm doing. I was beating it by a decade. We'll see what I'm beating it by now. You can reverse your age, and you could prove it out by blood test. And when you get to wealth, so if you're at 5 million on this stuff, you will need another level of leadership to go to 10 million. If you're at 500,000, you need another level of leadership. It's something that I've invested personally year after year for decades on this. And in being in martial arts, you might as well call martial arts a form of leadership, because in martial arts, like, you're leading yourself, you're leading others, you learn how to lead classes. So that's really, really key, is the leadership power and the power that fuels that pillar. Now, tell me, already into this, if you look at, and my son has written a book on leadership, a team, put the picture of his book in there for me, please. And if you start losing your leadership power, tell me what happens to your legacy and your freedom. Tell me in the chat bar, what word do you want to use? Is it shrink, collapse, implode? Starts to fall apart, right? Now, the next one, the next power is marketing power. Marketing power. Because if you're trying to do marketing, but there's my son's book in the chat bar. I think we could give you, if anybody wants a free digital copy of that, Megan, tell them what to do to get a free digital copy. Like, give them email or something to reach out to you. And we'll get you a free digital copy of that if you'd like it. And if anybody has a podcast, Aaron, can you throw your book in there too? Because I'm so proud of everybody. Aaron's got a brand new book too. He'll throw a picture in there. And he's going to talk a little bit about some stuff. And his book is incredible. So if any of you want a copy of that, and depending on how many of you want it, maybe we'll surprise some of you with some physical copies and some of you with digital. We'll get that together. So also, if anybody has any podcasts, I love, like, these guys knock them out of the park. So Aaron will show you his book, and boom, you email Megan and tell her, hey, can you get me a book? And she'll tee it up with the team, and Megan, you'll help Morgan get aligned with it, and you guys know what to do. You don't need me to talk about. So we need marketing power. Without marketing power, you will spend a lot of money and not scale your company to where you want to go. Hands down. Without marketing power, you will not get your company to where you want it to be. I don't know anybody that has. And without marketing power, you're a slave to everybody and every agency because you don't understand enough about it to communicate with the people you're hiring. I'm not against the agencies. I'm against the ignorance of the owner that doesn't understand how to navigate an agency. Am I tracking? Does that make sense? Can you give me make sense in the chat bar, please? Does that make sense? Because when people come to me and they go, I'm paying, oh, there's Aaron's book. Check that one out, The Master Execution System. So if you want copies of that, type it in there. The team will get it. I want to over deliver for you guys. And then if you love them, get them on podcasts, refer them to people, and get their books out there. So if you have an agency and people would call me, oh, my blah, 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 my cost of marketing. And I said, explain it to me. And they're like, I don't know how to explain it. I said, well, what are you're praying? So you have marketing prayers. So you got to have leadership power. You got to have marketing power. When people ask me, like, what do you have to do? I say, well, let me show you the powers that hold up the Parthenon, that give you freedom and build a legacy. And a legacy is something that doesn't die. After you're gone, it keeps getting results for people and changing the world. Business power. Now, business power is, I watch people doing very sporadic business things. Not sporadic, very neurotic. I don't even know the word. Very, like, weird. Let's just call it weird. I watch people change their logo into weird things. They don't have an expert helping them. I watch them change their trucks. I watch them change their model, change their language. And I go, who helped you? And they're like, oh, I figured it out. And I'm like, I just don't want you to operate. I don't want to ever have my body operated on. And the guy goes, I never did this. I'm going to figure it out. Because I'm like, you're going to kill me. You're probably going to kill me right now. So like, don't kill your business. That's business power. The next one is the world doesn't spin without sales power. Sales power. You have to understand the art of communication. Sales is nothing more than communicating with a high level of fair exchange where they see the exchange so valuable that they're willing to invest in you for the exchange of this. I would like to think that knowing what you know about this training now, I'd like to think people would pay a lot more for this, right? I mean, you only needed less than one thing to pay back, even if you paid $699. Like one thing changes the game for you guys. This one model, the model before, right? So you need sales power. You also need life power. The next one is life power. Now, life power is, right, the life wheel. Like you have to understand all the aspects of the function of your mind. You have to understand your energy field. You have to understand how to optimize yourself. I don't drink, guys. I don't drink Red Bulls. I don't drink X drinks. I don't do caffeine shots. I don't do any of that. So my team will tell you how you see me now is how they saw me at 9:30 in the morning the other day. It's how they see me at night. Now, it's not that I don't ever get fatigued sometimes, but it's pretty damn rare. And I can supercharge quick because I have life power, right? And I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning and, you know, sniffing butterfly butts and jumping in cold plunges. I'm not against that stuff, everybody. I just don't do what most people do. I don't subscribe into the average. I subscribe into what works for my body, my mind, to evolve me to the next level, right? So, and if I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning, it's because I'm probably vomiting because it's too early for me. The military people on here, they do it all the time. And I hope they just think about me in the morning when they're up, but they're thinking Mike's still damn near sleeping. All right. Next one is wealth power. You can't build wealth if you don't have wealth power. If you don't even understand the dynamics of money, the frequency of wealth, the vibration of all the ecosystems of monetary things, if you don't understand the ecosystem and the vibration of credit cards, and not in a negative light, in a positive light, in a balanced light, and you don't understand, you know, checks, and you don't understand banking, and we're not talking about wealth power with crypto. We're not. Wealth is an understanding and a frequency on the highest level. So that's what wealth power is. And the last one here is relationship power. Because I don't know about you, but any time in my life that my relationship was upside down, everything else on every one of these powers fell apart. What about you? Tell me in the chat bar. You're in an argument with your wife, your partner, things aren't working out. You don't care, immediately don't care about it. You're like, F the business, F your health. You're eating Cheetos. You don't care. You're like, forget about the bank. I don't care about the bills. I don't care. You don't care about nothing. Nothing. And people know this and they never invest in their relationship. They think date night, you got all these people, gurus online, and they tell you like, well, if you go on date night, everything will be better. Like, you know, you'll be having sex every minute and you'll be smiling and giggling all the time. Just go on date night to TGI Fridays or some shit. I got to tell you something. I don't know about you, but like, I don't want to date my wife because when I dated her, I wasn't committed. Do you guys get that? I don't want to date my wife. I want to have an expanding relationship with my wife. I'm already committed in this relationship. Dating was like, maybe we'll stay together, maybe we won't. If that makes sense, can you type in makes sense? Now, I'm not shitting on your date nights where you get to go out and maybe you drink too much and come home and you forgot for a moment in time that, you know, the kids are, you know, wild and decorating their cars with, you know, Christmas lights and stuff and whatever happens there. I'm just saying, you want to be committed. So when you look at these powers now, what I'd like to do is I want you to help me rate these powers for you. Okay. So if we look at, let's put a top scale at 10 and a scale at 1, and you know, there's in between. Let's do it one by one and type in the chat bar. If you rated your leadership power and leadership, ultimate leadership, you walk in your building, people are like, what do you need? How do we do it? Like, I didn't tell these guys my team what to do in the chat bar. We didn't tell them. They're just doing all this stuff. I rate that as part of our leadership because they're leaders. And one being you are like miserable. You would like to choke people along with choking yourself. Okay. You see why they won't put me on Facebook with some of this? They block my post. I don't see anything wrong with how I'm explaining things, but they seem so. All right. So you rated it. That's where you're at. And let's make sure we'll do let's do an average in the end. So let's go marketing. So marketing power, 10, you understand strategic copy. You understand strategic positioning. You know uniqueness. You know how to make people look at an image, look at a vehicle, look at any aspect of marketing, and they go, yes. And one being, you can't even build a postcard. You don't know copy. You don't know A/B testing. You don't know how to heat map your website. You don't even know how long people are on your website. Where do you rate yourself? Throw it in. You guys are going to love the very next section we talk about when we're done with this. And then we'll take a quick little break and then boom, we're going to go for the finish line here. All right. Business power. Business power out of 10. You understand how to scale business. You understand how to do organizational charts. Every employee has a scorecard. You know about scorecards. You know how to do processes and systems. You know how to build a business blueprint to go to the next level. You know how to reverse engineer things. You know how to align. You know every aspect to create. If you are not scaling by 30 to 50% and loving life, you're not a level 10. So where are you? Where are you? And team, you're keeping an eye on things here. All right. Sales power. Sales power, the ability, level 10, to communicate with a level of skill and trust, not to manipulate people. You don't have to throw voodoo in their eyes. And one being, you don't even like to talk to people. Like, you don't even like to communicate. You can't even share with your team how to be better. Level 10, you know how to share with your team. Your team loves the company. They know how to deliver value. Where are you? Life power. You are optimized. I mean, your body, your mind, your spirit, you know by your blood levels where you're at. You know the age you're at. You're working on reversing your age. You have endurance. You level 1, ultimate fatigue, could barely move, aches and pains. That's not life power. Where are you at? Okay. Thank you for everything there, guys. Thank you for your transparency too. Wealth power, level 10. You understand wealth. You have created a thinking and a process of frequency and a harmony of wealth that checks show up in the mail. Deals come in front of you. Actually, I got one today. Yesterday. Yesterday, I got one. They said, I guess it was an overpayment on insurance, $477. I didn't put it in the bank yet. That's a frequency. And the thing about wealth frequency is you can't quit on it. I have a building I've been trying to sell for a year and a half, $5 million building, and there's been a sticking point. I didn't quit on my frequency. And then I just got the go-ahead of an approval that's going to help me sell it now. Frequency, vibration, that's wealth power. Okay. And the last one, relationship power. It's not that you guys are happy with each other. You are so aligned that each one of you know where you want to go individually, and you're fist pumping each other. Like, we both agree that's where we're going. That's how we're going. You're learning together. If you're not growing together, you're growing apart. You're growing apart. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take all the pillars, and I want you to take your score. Hopefully you remember it. And I want you to give me an average. What are you averaging? If I look there, I'm taking a rough guess. I'm thinking a lot of you is probably averaging about a 5. Oh, Kim's a 1. Okay, 6. Look, what did we say earlier? If you don't know the score, you can't improve the game. Now you know the score on the pillars. Now it's up to you to say, what pillar is the one that no matter what, I know that's first. So you guys tell me in the chat bar, look at your scores. And don't feel bad about your scores. Your scores, I will tell you, statistically, it's running between 5 and 6 for most business owners, okay? And if they haven't had any training at all or any skilled coaching or anybody that's been able to help them break through, they're probably 2 to 5. That's what it happens. But our job is to bring you. So if you want to know, why did we create this? We created these, and type in what's the number one. I got leadership. Okay. We created these trainings right here. Team, put the dates again in there. We created leadership power, marketing power, and relationship power to help you lift up with power and hold the pillars up so you can get legacy and have greater freedom. Now, throughout the year, we'll build the rest of these out. We're already starting planning for these next. So if you need these, here's what I would challenge you to do. I would challenge you to go to the link and click on it and pick the ones, or say I have questions. And I understand not all of you are in the maybe financial place, but don't let that stop you from reaching out. We'll help you with some financing. We'll do the very best that we can for you. And hopefully, how many of you, just be transparent, how many of you on here that been in our world a long time know that we do our very best for you? And you don't have to lie. Tell me in the chat bar. I only want the truth. Do we do our very, very best for you? That's what we want to be to the world. But we do have whatever, 15 plus different team members and vendor partners we pay. So we do have to make money too, but we don't want that to stand in the way. So if we can help you, go click the form, say, this is what I like. We'll have a call. We'll see if we can do something for you. No matter what, we're going to serve you. Remember, the end, you're going to get the free product. You're already going to get a free copy of Aaron's book and my book and Michael's book. So we're going to serve you. Now, here's where we get a gut check. Okay, ladies, tap into your intuition and spidey sense and stuff. And let's go down here. I want you to write this down. This is the thing that always freaks me out. It's this: COI. COI. Okay? This is what we call the cost of inaction. The cost of inaction. Now, when you think about the cost of inaction, I'm going to give you a basic model. Let's say your company is making $500,000, okay? But you know there's companies in your market, in the United States, you know there's companies that are doing 100 million. Maybe it's less. Well, if you do the math, the difference between these two is called the cost of inaction. It says to you that because you're not making a decision that someone else is making, you're not getting this in the middle. Now, remember, I'm not here to tell you to get more or get less. I'm okay if you live in a cave. A matter of fact, I hope you have a little extra spot in that cave for me, because I'd love to visit myself. I love to come and hang out. I love to be alone. I love myself. I love to be alone. But for a lot of you, you want more and you're not afraid. Like, here's what I want you to do. If you want more and you want to say it in a safe place where you're not going to be judged, like your stepmother pointing their finger at you, type in the chat bar, I want more. Go ahead, because I'm okay with it. And I want you to want more if you want it. So if you're ever getting shit on by people in your world that like, aren't you just happy struggling? You reach out and private message me and Mike, say, Mike, can you tell me I deserve to have more? Because I'm going to say, if you want more, let's get fucking more, right? Let's get more. It's okay. Because the more money and more wealth you get and the more freedom in your life, I got news for you. The more you're going to get to help people. Look, if you're here and buy one of our trainings, I love you, we're going to serve you. If you're here and don't buy a training, I'm still serving you. And we're serving you for 4 straight hours. Why? because we got ourselves to a point where we can give more because we made more. So I could give more. So I always tell people that are struggling to get more, well, get your ass in gear, because the more you get, the more you can give. Now, the whole world doesn't do that. Some people get to keep, and that's fine. That's there. No judgments there, but we want to get to serve. We want to get to serve. Okay. So yes, Amy, more. So this is the cost of inaction. So now we're going to take a gut check, and I want a number. And the reason why I'm sharing with you or telling you that I would like a number is for a reason. When you use things like priceless, I let you slip on that. I let you go buy on it, priceless. But I don't know is priceless $1 trillion? I don't know if it's worth $1 trillion. I don't know. What I want you to do is think for 1 minute. And there's going to be no judgments, because you're going to have numbers from $500 to 500 billion. I don't know. I want you to think right now, if you optimized all those areas, all those powers, and you optimized and you got the food dog pinnacles optimized, you got the food dog power optimized, you got the Parthenon powers that power the pillars optimized, what is your believable eagle? Cost of inaction. What's your believable? Is it 30 million? Okay, it's 9 million. I did 32 million in my one company, was tracking 40, and you know, I paid for a lot of trainings, but I got no college degree. I got a degree in common sense and a degree in unwilling to quit. I should get that printed on the wall. It should say Mike Agugliaro's degree, unwilling to fucking quit. That's it. I am relentless to the point if a limb falls off, right? And so that's the cost of inaction. And you can do exactly what I did. You just have to do a lot of what I did. And not everybody wants that. A lot of people are more, you know, thinking, hey, I'd rather cruise and travel a lot. And I'm like, that's good, but don't cruise and come back and tell me you need a vacation from your vacation. Because that's like, you know, that always makes me want to throat chop people when they say that. I'm like, don't go away. It's not a vacation if you come back and go, oh my God, I need a vacation from a vacation. I'm like, well, imagine if you didn't even have a vacation, right? All right. Throw punch. That's right, Jason. I always feel that way. Okay, 500K, 10 million, 14 million, 1 million. And guess what? Every one of your numbers is believable at the moment you commit to it, the moment you commit to it. Hey, Brendan. And the moment your identity aligns with it. Remember we talked about identity? Your identity has to align with that. And if you really want to believe it, I shared this decades now. Every morning you get up, take a marker. Okay, you with me? Every morning you get up, and those of you that have team members on it, you can write everything you want in the chat bar. If they don't believe it, you're dead. You're dead. They have to believe it. And they got to believe, anybody that works or is on a team or company here that works for somebody, believe, because when a company grows, everyone gets more. They don't get less. Is that true? Type in true in the chat bar. When a company grows, everyone gets more. They don't get less. I promise you that, especially if you're on my training, because I have a good marketing that repels nasty, not nice people and attracts really good people. So I know people in my world, when their companies grow, they take care of their team more. It's probably why they invited you here or something. Okay. All right. Here's what we are going to do. We're going to do this. We're close enough to a 2-song break, but I really want you to get out of your seats a minute. Shake. If you're with somebody else in the room, if you had to go pee and say, hey, what did we pick up? What? I want to know when you come back. We're going to circle the next 3 action items you have. I'm going to play a little video, and then we're going to keep moving along. And I have a little thing. I'm going to have Aaron's going to teach something, and he's going to teach something on attraction versus repulsion, and you're going to like that. So that's the plan. 2 songs, play a video, 3 action items I'm going to get from you that you're going to implement, not the same 3. Aaron's going to teach. We're going to go strong till 6. Who's going to stay strong until we finish? Type in stay strong, like real strong. Okay, I got some hands up there. All right, we're going to stay strong. All right, I'll find you 2 songs here. Go do your 2-song break real quick. All right, looks like most of you are back. So for time, and I want to get as much in as we can here, let me play a quick video for you guys while the rest of the people are coming back here. I like the one part of this video and definitely what he says. The part that I wanted you to get there was earn these shields and remember this day. That's just so impactful there as a leader facing unmeasurable odds. And how many of you have been in that place? Type in the chat bar where you felt like you were just facing like odds that you never thought you would beat, and then you beat them. Tell me in the chat bar. Have any of you ever been there? You're like, I just have these odds, and then you beat them. And the more you feel certain is, the more you beat the odds, because I will share, a lot of people want to say success is lucky. It's never been lucky for me at all. There's been no luck. I have not won stuff. My dad didn't give me stuff. And I think what that does is that builds in you a sense of you have to do this for yourself, and you have to be ready to do that. So I'm going to hand it over to Aaron in a second. He's going to teach you some items here that are going to be really great, which I want to make sure we at least get this in before the training. And then after he's done, I'm going to bring it to a finish line. Now, for some of you that jumped in, hey team, can you put the link for one, how to get the Mind Power book? So you can put that again. So guys, I want you to look for links right now. So the Mind Power book, if you want to get, and you didn't tell us, Michael's book and also Aaron's book, I want to make sure you guys get that stuff. And then the last thing is, if you want to attend any of these trainings and you're not signed up for them, for marketing power, relationship power, leadership power, and author power. Author power is not a pillar because it's not needed as a pillar, but it is needed for authority and credibility if you want it. So if you want to write a book with us in 3 days, and you don't want to spend what most people, they spend 10, 15, 25,000 on writing a book. And we're going to help you do it for way, way less. And you're going to hang out with us for 3 days, which is going to be brilliant. And we'll take care of food and dinners, and it'll be a blast. So you have the list of everything there. Let's do this. I want your 3 items, because I told you you're going to give me 3 items, action items. And also, if you're going to fill out that form, I'd like you to do it now, because after we're done, the team's going to be off and I want them to do what they have to do. So put your 3 action items and click on the form link, and any trainings you want to attend or you're considering, fill it out now. So go ahead, do that real quick. Let's make fast action of it. Fast action. Go ahead. Fast. When you're done with that, when you're done with your actions and you filled out the form, just do me a favor. Just put done in the chat bar. I'll give you some fast moving music here while you do it. Okay. Here's my today fast moving music while you do it. Put your 3 items, fill out the form. If you're not already signed up, if you're signed up, don't fill out the forms, please. And when you're done with both of those, type in done. You guys are doing great. Keep going there. Keep growing. And everybody read everyone else's, because you're sending vibration to help them all. So, and you might pick up some that you missed. All right, everybody. Looks like everybody's pretty much done. Hey, I'd like to invite to the stage here my very good friend for well over a decade and business partner of mine and my beautiful wife, Jen. I'd like to invite Aaron to the stage. So Aaron, take it away. And Aaron, some people, we got some new people here. So if you could give them your 2-minute background about your MBA and all the stuff you've done, that'd be awesome. Take it away.
That awesome. Hey everyone, great to hang out with you. I have been on Industry Throat Chop just like you, taking a ton of notes, because whenever Mike talks, I learn a lot, even though I have been in his world for 10 years. So yeah, let me start by just sharing a little bit about me, in case you don't know who I am, and those of you who do, you can continue to be wowed and impressed maybe. All right, so way back in the day, my undergrad was in something that you might be surprised by or puzzled by, and it was an undergrad in theology and the humanities. And for a while, I thought I was going to be a minister. my life took a different path, and I realized what I really wanted to do was be a writer. That was like my ultimate goal, even since when I was a kid. And so I worked toward being a writer, and I've written a number of books. The Sales Funnel Bible was my first book, and the Real Estate Investing Copywriter's Playbook was my second book. I'll talk about my third book in a couple of minutes. So I became a writer, and I started professionally writing like magazines, books, and marketing material. And at first I was writing for anyone. And then slowly I started to focus a little bit more, focusing ultimately on real estate investors. And I became the real estate investing copywriter, the only one in the world who is exclusively focused on real estate investors. And I worked with some pretty high level investors, had a really neat experience for over a decade. Along the way, I got my my MBA because I really loved learning about business. And somewhere in that story, I skipped over it because I was excited to tell you everything. But I actually, for a brief period of time, was also a stockbroker and like investment rep, investment advisor, whatever they're called. They're called different things in different countries. But I could sell stocks and bonds and funds and that kind of thing. And so that's my journey. I started out thinking I was going to be a minister. Somewhere in there, I was a stockbroker. Then I ultimately landed on real estate investing, copywriting, and I was a real estate investor myself, got an MBA. And then I got a call 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago, from someone who is not in the real estate investing space. He had been a referral from one of my clients, and that person was Mike. And Mike and I started working together. I was his marketing director at CEO Warrior. And then after he exited CEO Warrior, then he messaged me and he's like, and I was on my way out as well. And he's like, I've been thinking about starting something, Foo Dog Group. And so that is where we are today. And I am thrilled to be his partner. And we get to hang out all the time. I get to work with such a great friend, him and Jennifer. It's a great time. So I'm telling you all this, not just to boast, because actually is layering in a couple things that I'm going to talk about today. And so that was really brief. Let's dig into a couple of items here. First, I want to ask, since most people here are business owners, how many people want more leads or clients? Put yes in the chat bar if you do. And if you don't, that's totally fine. I respect that. But I'm curious, just so I know who I'm talking to, because if you guys are answering no, then we can just cut the short. But I'm seeing a bunch of yeses. Amazing, because what I'm about to share will help you get more leads and convert more of them into clients. But what's really interesting is that what I'm going to be sharing is counterintuitive. Most people want more leads and clients, but most people do actually the opposite of getting them. And it's very interesting. And I'm hoping by the end of the next 20 minutes or so that I have your attention. That you are going to be surprised by maybe some things you might be doing backwards and empowered to do things in a different way, even in a scary way. So if you're going to be bold and willing to be just a little bit scared and stretch yourself, put me in the chat bar. Jason says, which is better? One customer spends $1 million or 1 million customers that give $1? Ooh, great question. Great question. That's not really my topic that I'm covering, but my answer would be, I will take all of those. I'd take the customer that spends $1 million, and I'd also take 1 million customers that spend $1. There's different benefits of both, but that is a conversation for another day. All right, so I got some people who say me. Thank you for willing to be bold. So people are doing their marketing in a way that actually hurts their ability to create leads and customers. And I see it every day. And I saw it when I was a real estate investing copywriter. So let me paint the scenario for you. I would have clients, brand new clients. I'd pick up the phone back in the day when we talked by the phone, or I'd meet them on Zoom or whatever. And I would ask them what kind of marketing that they needed and what their goals were. And then I'd lay out a proposal, a suggestion for them of what I thought could get them to where they needed to go. And quite often my suggestions were pushed back. They would push back on my suggestions because one of my first questions was, who is it that you want to market to? And they would say, everyone. I want to market to everyone. And I would be like, do you really want to market to everyone though? They're like, yes, we want to market to everyone. And so I would challenge them on this because let's do some math. There's like 8 billion people in the world. There's 1 billion of them that I think only speak Mandarin. So can you speak Mandarin? If you can't, then you got to chop off like 1/8 of the potential population in the world because you don't speak their language. All right, let's say there's another couple billion that can't even afford your services. So you got to chop off another. So we're down to like 4 billion. You've already cut off half of the potential people that you thought you wanted to serve. All right, well, what else is there? Like, there's probably going to be maybe who you are or what you say or what you do. If you're a real estate investor, like I was serving at the time, not everyone in North America wants to buy a house right now. So already we're cutting it down to under 1 billion people. And so just a conversation like that, I'd push back to them and show them that everyone was not their ideal client. They weren't really going after everyone. They're going after a surprisingly small fraction. Like people who could speak English, people who wanted to buy a house in the United States to invest, people who were a certain age, because babies aren't going to buy them, and people who are 100 years old aren't going to buy them. So by asking these questions, I narrowed things down and then was able to present to them like, look, you're not trying to market to everyone. The problem is most people, they play it too safe. They play the middle of the road, marketing to as many people as possible. But I want you to write this down. The middle of the road is where things get run over. The middle of the road is where things get run over. So if your marketing is in the middle of the road, you are at the risk of getting run over. And so in the next few minutes, I'm going to help you create marketing that will not allow you to get run over. Okay, so I want you to think of it this way. There's really like 2 types of marketing. There's ineffective marketing and there's effective marketing. Ineffective marketing is like, it's like playing it safe. It's not saying anything that would offend anyone, being scared of anything less than 5-star reviews, working so hard that you don't get a hater on your comments. These are some examples of ineffective marketing because you're playing it as safe, as vanilla as you can. Effective marketing doesn't worry about that stuff. You don't actively seek to offend everyone, but you work very strategically to do 2 things: to attract the right people and to repel the wrong people. To attract the right people and to repel the wrong people. And that is what we're talking about today: attraction and repulsion. So what is attraction marketing? Attraction marketing is marketing where your audience says, this person gets me. I feel heard. This person understands my problems. This person is looking over my shoulder and says exactly the same things that I would say. That's attraction marketing. You are aligning yourself. Effective, E-F-F-E-C-T-I-V-E, effective. Yeah, good question there, Ursula. Effective marketing is attractive. It's attractive to certain people, and it also repulses the wrong people. So repulsion in your marketing repulses the wrong person. People will say, oh, this person, they're not who I want to listen to. They're not who I want to follow. I'm repulsed or I'm triggered by this person. Your marketing should create those 2 emotions. In the right audience, it should attract, and in the wrong audience, it should repulse. And I'm going to give you some examples. If what I'm talking about is theoretical right now, I just wanted to lay the groundwork, but I am now going to give you some specific examples. Some of these you'll be familiar with, some you may not. Some may actually create a repulsion in you because you are not the audience that I'm describing their marketing. So let's talk about one of the best businesses that do attraction and repulsion marketing so effectively and so subtly. I'm going to play a commercial that they did, and this is one of the most famous commercials of all time. It's 1 minute long, and it for those of us who are in the marketing world or the advertising world, you will recognize this commercial even if you never saw it or weren't around watching TV when it was originally aired. But it was a transformative commercial, not only for this company but also for the marketing space in general. So let me share my screen here. Oops, let me share my screen and play this commercial. I'm going to have to knock out, I think Mike is still sharing this. There we go. So share sound, optimize for video. All right, here we go. This commercial, if you, and I'm going to play it, and then if you write in the chat the company when you see it, this is a perfect example of attraction and repulsion marketing. All right, so here we go. It's kind of faint. You just have to listen closely.
A garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Right. Oh, hang on. I just went to the next video and that's distracting to me. There we go. All right. That was put on in that commercial is from 83, I think, actually, but talking about the next year, 1984, put on by Apple, Macintosh, whatever they called themselves at the time. And it was such a powerful commercial because it attracted the people who felt that the world was this sort of like structured and organized, and there was like mind control, and everyone was using PCs. And Apple came in with this with like this person with the hammer, and they smashed the computer screen. And it was a transformative commercial. Like we look at it now and we think, okay, that's fine, but it was like, it really was transformative in so many ways. And it was such a great picture of how Apple does attraction and repulsion marketing. It attracted the people who wanted to break free from the really structured, boring, same old stuff type of computers that they had, and be fresh and new. And Apple does this all the time. You may remember a few years ago, maybe even a decade ago now, they had the commercial with the two actors. The one is like, "Hi, I'm a Mac and I'm a PC." That's another great example of attraction and repulsion. The Mac person speaking in that commercial was, kind of hip. The PC person was a little bit like frumpy and wearing a suit and a little bit, not as interesting. And so this kind of, oh yeah, Justin Long, that's right. And so Mac versus PC is another great example of how Apple does attraction and repulsion marketing. But they're not the only ones. Let's talk about a couple others. And I saw someone posted, Aaron Birdsong posted in there about Hooters. Hooters is another great example of a company that does attraction and repulsion marketing. So you may not like Hooters, and that's fine. Guess what? You're the person repulsed by their marketing because their marketing repulses you, and it's working perfectly. The marketing attracts a certain group of people, and that is exactly what they want. And if you have a question about whether attraction or repulsion marketing works, consider that Apple is the most successful company in the history of the world, and Hooters isn't doing too bad at $1.2 billion in 2023. So attraction and repulsion marketing works. A couple other examples here's a simple example that you might see if you're in business or in sales a lot is Andy Elliott. So Andy Elliott is a sales guy who's really come up in the past couple of years. He's a bald guy who sells a lot of car sales kind of stuff. And he wears possibly the tightest shirts and tightest pants of anyone I've ever seen. And people make fun of him all the time. And the great news is his right audience doesn't care, and his wrong audience hates him so much that they talk about him and they don't want to be around him. And guess what? He doesn't care who hates him, because the people who love him are, attracted to that style that he's got. Yeah, you either love them or you hate them. And it's great. It's great. Believe it or not, you want people to hate you. I know that sounds crazy. if you are looking for a great real life example that you encounter all the time of attraction and repulsion marketing, we can look no further than the guy who spoke for the first 3 hours of this session, and that is Mike. Mike does great attraction and repulsion marketing inside his social posts, for example. So in his social posts, you see lots of stuff where he says like, I am with you, I'm here to help you. And then in his same social post, he'll be like, there's other coaches out there who don't have your best interests at heart. So he is sort of attacking one group of people, repulsing one group of people, and attracting another. Cheryl says, we just changed our website, basically laying out who do we not want as a student. Oh, that's so good. Okay, we are going to dig into that in a minute. I'm moving fast here, but are you guys tracking so far? Let me know you're tracking in the chat bar. And then while you're writing that, okay, we got tracking, we're not tracking. I'm going to share some implications with you, and then specific action steps that you can take like today to make your marketing more attractive to the right people and more repulsive to the wrong people. So here are some just general implications. These aren't really like action steps. These are things for you to consider that stack on what I believe are the proof and the reasons and some foundation about why you want attraction and repulsion marketing. First of all, I love attraction and repulsion marketing because it is your true self. It is your true self coming out. And I love that. Way back when I first started my writing business, like over a decade ago, I was trying to be all things to all people. Just as I said at the beginning, I was trying to work in the middle of the road and make sure my marketing was great for everyone and didn't offend anyone. And who was I? I was just stretched so thin by trying to be everyone. And finally, I realized, no, step into my true self, be who I am, show up as I am. Don't try to be anything else. And I felt so much more authentic. And as soon as I stepped into that authenticity, my marketing became more attractive and repulsive, and I became fine with that. And my business took off. And it was a huge awakening for me. So that's one implication, is you are stepping into your true authentic self. So if you ever feel that your marketing is not authentic, or if you feel that your marketing is cheesy or marketing is scammy, you are not marketing in your true authentic self, and you are working in the middle of the road. So be yourself, be bold and courageous. That's the first implication. The second implication is something that goes back to my days when I was a stockbroker and an investment rep. And we had this rule called know your audience, or know your customer, KYC. No, but I say know your audience. And what that means is, if you want to create effective marketing, once you know who you are authentically, then get to know who your audience is. Get to know them and fall in love with your audience. And when you pick a specific group of people that you want to attract and you love them in your marketing, then it's okay that you're repulsing other people because you love these people, and that's okay. Yeah, know your avatar. Good. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Here's another couple things, and you want to write this down. Courage creates results, and fear creates failure. Courage creates results. Fear creates failure. Have the courage with attractive and repulsive marketing to step into it, to be courageous and attract the right people, repulse the wrong people. And even though it's scary, you will create results from that. And then the last piece is, and this one always shocks people, and I say, haters are a KPI. We work so hard in social media to not have haters. We delete the people who, maybe make a weird comment on our posts or on our ads. Maybe we worry about getting a review that's less than 5 stars. Haters are a KPI, and it's okay to have haters. A 4-star review, a 3-star review, even a 1-star review is not detrimental to your business because, and just as an aside, people now view 5-star reviews as inauthentic. So having like a 4-star average company is great because 5 stars, people think, that person might have scammed the system a bit. So haters are okay. They're actually helping you. When they comment on your ad, it's fine. You can hide them, hide their comment, but it feeds the algorithm. And so haters are okay. It's okay to have haters. So attraction and repulsion, those are some basic some basic implications. I swear I can pronounce words right now. And now let me land this plane and hand it back to Mike in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to give you eight action steps that will allow you to create really effective attraction and repulsion marketing, simply even starting as early as today. So are you ready for your action steps? Put action steps in the chat so I know you're right with me here. Action steps. See, okay, we got some action steps. Okay, here we go. Action step number 1 is choose to be yourself. Choose to be yourself. Someone wrote in the chat too just now that said, yeah, being yourself shows authenticity. Making mistakes shows authenticity. People love that and respond to it. And I believe in 2024 and 2025, we are living in a world where authenticity and credibility are the real currencies that people value. And so you making mistakes and being honest and being hated by some people and loved by others is true credibility and authenticity. So action number 1 is be yourself. Action number 2 is identify your avatar. Identify your avatar. An avatar is kind of a picture, a word picture of your very best customers, your ideal customers who you love to work with, the ones who are profitable, the ones who are easy to work with, the ones who are fun, the ones who, who kind of reflect your values. Those are your very best customers. Write down everything about them. Describe them in detail. When I was the real estate investing copywriter, I had a little card on my wall. It was a recipe card. I had a photo cut out from a magazine, and I had little bullet points of who my perfect avatar was. Their religious background, their financial background, their educational background, their political background, and I would write to that person. And I still remember the guy's name. I had details about who, like his marriage, his kids, everything he did, and I would write to that person. My marketing became so authentic and focused. And guess what? I repulsed the wrong people, and I attracted this person. And all of my clients ended up reflecting this person. So that's number 2 is know your avatar. And I would say as part of that, know what they love and know what they don't love. Know what they don't love as well. Stephen writes, I've struggled with this one because I want to rewire all the poor people's homes. Those are the most rewarding. Okay, great point there, Stephen. And I would say your avatar is a really good question. And you may consider having some different avatars, but I would say focus on one avatar, the one that makes financial sense in your business. But there's nothing wrong with also having wanting to help people. And so one example for you, Stephen, just coming to the top of my head, I'm riffing here a little bit, might be that your avatar is a true, like a customer who can afford your services, but who also loves to help other people. And so maybe you can have some kind of like buy one and donate one type of service, or every service I do for you help you contribute to something in the community. Zappos, I think, did that. You buy shoes and they send shoes off to someone else somewhere else in the world, or something along those lines. And so you can create an avatar that serves your business, but also serves that philanthropic side as well. Bombas, right? Not Zappos. You're right. It was some different one. Okay, moving on here. So I did number 2, know your avatar. At Food Dog, we have an avatar. We've got a picture of a person who looks like our perfect avatar. I'm just going to show it to you really quick. We're not going to have time to read it. I'm moving as fast as I can, but I'll show you that we have one too. Just we practice what we preach. Here is our avatar. We got their name. We have details of who they are, and a picture here just to make them seem like a real person. That is our avatar here at Food Dog Group. And so we practice what we preach. So that's number 2 is your avatar. Number three, now we're getting into that attraction repulsion piece. You're going to see some me stacking some pieces on here. Number 3 is, what are they listening to? What are they listening to? What is your avatar listening to? Who, what are the experts? What are the influencers? What are the, the social media? What are the businesses that they're listening to? What are the podcasts they're listening to? Find out who they are listening to. And here's the reason why you want to do that. Because if you want true powerful marketing, you want to come in a different way. So everyone's listening to these people and you want to say, hey, guess what, everyone? You're listening to those people. I have a new and fresh voice in it with a different perspective. And so when you kind of gather together what's everyone else listening to, you come in a different way. And that is exactly what we saw in the Mac or the Apple commercial that I showed a few minutes ago. Everyone else was working on these boring PCs that seemed like office clones or office drones. And this one person came in with their hammer and smashed their paradigm. And that is the exact same thing that you're doing. Find out who your avatar is listening to. Think of that as the universe of the noise that they've got, and you come in as a fresh voice. All right. So that's part of attraction and repulsion marketing. All right. So number four is identify the many problems that your avatar has. You probably already did that in step 2, but just make sure you're listing out all of the problems that they have, because you're going to use it here in the next couple steps. So number 5 then is identify a bigger inspiring movement. Identify a bigger inspiring movement. Mike talked about movement earlier today, earlier in Industry Throat Chop. Even Stephen Brown was kind of talking here in the chat bar about a type of movement that he has in his community, or that he could have in his community. So identify this bigger inspiring movement, something that's a bold vision that you can bring to your customers, something that you believe in. For a while at Food Dog, we were talking about changing the lives of like 100 million people in 100 countries. I'm not quoting it correctly, but something along those lines. There are many companies that have big inspiring movements. Those movements are an attraction tool, and you can speak to the right audience with the right movement. We even see this in politics, and this is true all over the world, but the US just had an election, so it's very fresh in many of our minds. But each political party is a movement for the people that are aligned with those parties. So those aligned with the Democrats feel that they are a movement, and they attract one group of people and repulse the other. The same with the Republicans. They feel that they're a movement, attracting the Republican people and repulsing the other ones. It is the same in your marketing as well. Brand promise, personal transformation for 120 million people or more. Yes, thank you. Find a movement that inspires your audience. That's going to be part of the key attraction component, and it will repulse the wrong people. The people who are like, I don't want to do that big scale personal transformation. Okay. That was step 5. Oh yeah, now number 6. Okay, you guys got to roll up your sleeves, because this is where it gets really nitty gritty, where it gets really bold and scary. And some people on here may find this too challenging. And step number 6 is to identify a common enemy. Identify a common enemy. And it can be any enemy that your audience feels. And it doesn't have to be one person. In fact, it probably shouldn't be. That might be a little too aggressive. It can be a group of people. I'm going to give you some examples. Identifying an enemy politically, right? The Democrats identify the Republicans as an enemy. The Republicans identify the Democrats as an enemy. And I'm sure in this election, just like in every other election, people didn't necessarily always vote for the party they wanted, but they were really voting against the party they didn't want. So politics leverages that enemy concept very powerfully. The Apple commercial that you just saw is an enemy, talks about the enemy. And without being blunt about it, they were saying, hey, PCs, they're boring office drones, they're the enemy. So Apple does that really well. Here's a funny example of attraction and repulsion marketing that you might have heard, and that is Elvis, the famous musician. He had a manager who, of course, helped to market him and promote him and publicize him. And he had Elvis paraphernalia that he would sell. He also sold "I Hate Elvis" stickers, because he was promoting that he would make money by people who hated Elvis, but in a way, he was also helping to fuel the people who loved Elvis. So he had this powerful, he was playing both sides. It is really quite genius. So find a common enemy. And the great thing is you don't have to pick on someone. You can pick on a group of people that your audience agrees don't align with them. And so let's see here. I'm thinking of an example of one. Well, I already gave the Apple one. Here's a great example. I don't know if you guys have seen this in states that don't get snow, but I live up in Canada. We get snow. In fact, we just got our first snow today and it's amazing. But we have a commercial that plays here by a car company. And in that car company, they're trying to promote how snow ready, how winter ready their cars are. But there's these angry snowmen that chase after their cars. It's kind of this animated snowman, and it's a really great commercial, but the car's smashing through the snowman. So this car company just simply identified winter as the enemy. But we all have enemies that we can do. Mike, in his posts, talks about coaches, other coaches. There's a million coaches in the world. Anyone can be a coach. So in some ways, Mike is aligning coaches as an enemy. He's not hateful about it, but he aligns them as an enemy because the right audience understands that Mike is, they're attracted to Mike and repulsed by these other enemies. It's the principle of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, because you're aligning yourself with a person who also hates the people that you hate. So, all right, let's wrap this up. I'm over time and I'm going to get this back to Mike here. Step number 7 is relentless consistency. Relentless consistency. You're being authentic. You've got your avatar. You're understanding who your avatar is. You're painting a big vision. You're identifying a common enemy. And now be relentlessly consistent in your marketing. Be relentlessly consistent. Do it all the time. I'll pick on Andy Elliott again. Love him or hate him, he does a billion videos. He does so many videos. And so even if you hate him, you can't help but see him all the time. And then the last one, number 8, is buckle up, because attraction and repulsion marketing feels scary. Even though it's more authentic, even though it's more effective, we all don't want to attract haters. We don't want to have haters. We don't want to get that 1-star review, but it is the more effective way to market your business. It is a more effective way to get leads, to get clients, to get the right clients, and to repulse the wrong leads and clients. So buckle up, because it is an exciting and authentic way to market, even if it seems a little scary. All right, I moved really fast, you guys, and I covered like a quarter of what I wanted to cover, but I want to make sure you guys have enough time with Mike for us to finish up here in style. So Mike, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Awesome. Everybody, look at your notes real quick and type in an action item or action items from what Aaron just covered. Do it right now. I'm impressed with you guys. We are going to end super strong here. I'm going to make sure we're going to be giving you the code to get the gift. And I have one more surprise to just exceed your expectations, only for who is here. And I promise when you see the surprise, you're going to be pretty darn excited about it. Okay. So let's see your action items. Everybody type in some action items in there. Identify the problem with my avatar has. Really good there. Eagle, courage creates results. Yes. Avatar, movement, consistency. Okay to have haters. Yes. Identify the avatar. I feel like I'm going to create a very compelling post now. You guys are egging me on to now create some extra polarity in the market. My team loves when I do that stuff out there. Okay, so man, I love this stuff. Team, can you put the link for the free gift, please? Okay, put the link in there. Can you give them the code? Okay, give them the code. So here's what we're going to do, everybody. You're going to go in. You're going to click that link right now. You're going to put the code in right now, and you're going to get it done. You know why? That code is like from one of those movies where the fuse goes and then it disappears. That code's going to disappear, okay? Because we put a lot of energy and effort into that product that I just don't want the code floating all over the world. So do it now. Go in, click the link, put the code. When you're done, just say done. And when you say done, I'll know it worked. I'll know it worked. And then I'm going to give you one more gift before we leave. And I promise you are going to love this gift. Some of our highest level legacy members have used this gift before, and it's going to be a great reminder for them and an incredible gift for you. An incredible gift for you. Okay, so, all right, Eagle, yes, Danielle, boom, done. Let's do it, everybody. Let's do it. Hey, Legacy and Freedom Tribe members, I know you've been with us for 4 hours today, but if it's cool, how many of you are going to be coming to open access tonight at 7? Can you type in open access? If you're coming tonight at 7, just type in open. Okay, man, now I got you guys typing open and done and open and done. All right, cool. Well, open access is at 7 p.m. where you can show up and ask us any technical question at all about life, business, or wealth. We'll tackle that. I do know some of you probably have some questions for me. I'm going to give you a couple minutes for that, but I want to show you a tool real quick. And if you want the tool, we'll send it to you. I feel like this tool is going to be amazing. And I'm hoping with the tool, if you guys had an amazing time and you feel that we served you really well, would you be willing to do like a social media post and just say, like, you could just do Food Dog Group, hashtag love these guys or something? Would you do that? Just type in yes in the chat bar. I hope you will. And if not, let me just beg you to share our movement with one more great gift for you guys. This is a special tool we built for our company. It's called a risk mitigation strategy. Okay. Are you tracking with me here? A risk mitigation strategy. So what you do, everybody, and my team will send you a link. Probably maybe we'll have you say that you want this. Aaron, tell us how they should ask for this. So think about that a minute. What you do is you go in here and you put risk brackets. Are you following me? Money, leads, competition, conversion. You then put and it tells you in here, look, highlight this. It tells you what to do. What could go wrong here? Highlight this. Boom. Hey, what's the chances, the probability that you could have a money problem? I put 60% here, right? Maybe for some of you, I'm going to change it to 80%. What will this risk cost me? So it's like, man, it's going to cost me a lot. If I don't have money, like, it's going to be bad. And how much control do I have over this risk? Well, I don't know. My contractors are closing up and they're doing this stuff. Watch this. Now, when I type this, I want all of you to go, whoa, in the chat bar. You ready? Get ready to say, whoa. Boom. Type it in. Type it in. Whoa. It now points out, Alan, the obvious for you. Like, holy shit. I have a money problem. I have a pricing problem. And this is a quick, everybody has a team member on here. Implement it immediately. Now what you do, okay, this one's going to probably earn you're going to type in the chat bar, holy crap, or if holy and crap can't go together, just type in whoa again. The third, ready? 3, 2, 1, boom. You build your mitigation plan. What can I do to reduce the probability of this happening? What can I do to lower the cost impact if it did happen? What can I do again to gain greater control over the possibility of this happening? Okay. Can you just type in, I love you, Food Dog? Have we earned that? After 4 hours of power training, can you just type, I love you? Well, clearly, if you didn't love us, you didn't stay for 4 hours to figure out if you do love us. I'm going to open it up. If you do want to ask us a question for the next couple minutes, you just hit the raise hand. You could ask any question. I do want to give you guys one last reminder. We will get you all the free books and stuff. We will get you that special thing right there, the risk mitigation tool that we use in our own business. And team, if you could put the link again, I hope a whole bunch of you, instead of wasting money on crap that's not going to move your life, I hope you'll invest in yourself, your future, so we can remove pain and change your life. And I hope you'll fill out the form and tell us, what do you want to attend? I know a whole bunch of you are already signed up that are on here, because I see who's here. I know a whole bunch of you are coming to leadership. Who's coming to leadership already? Type in leadership. Who's coming to leadership? Type in leadership. Who's coming to author power? Type in author. Let's see. Who's coming to relationship? Type in relationship. Yep. And who is coming to marketing? Look, Kathy's like, everything. I come to everything. Hashtag love Kathy and her movement. Okay. So here you can see everybody. You're going to be in amazing, incredible company as we go into author power. Then we kick ass in marketing. Then we have the leadership. Then we have relationship. And I promise, our promise to you is not only the movement, and you can see how fast Tara knows her movement of impacting 120 million people or more in a decade or less in 100 countries or more, that we will keep changing the world. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand. If not, I'm going to get ready to find our, our end song on the way out here. So I already know the song that I'm going to play for you on your way out. So, all right, Lisa, boom. Yes. What do you got? What do you got?
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Hey, what is the next level for me to work on having more certainty?
Well, look, certainty is, if you haven't been through our Change the Channel program,
I haven't.
I don't know what we sell for, but you could reach out to Tara. I think you speak to Tara a lot. Tara's amazing. And let's see, I don't know what it sells for. Let's see if we do something. Change the Channel is the #1 training about shifting people's identity. Okay. We've done it many times. It tells you how to become, we need to become. So that would be the first one. And then the next one is, look, leadership teaches you certainty because you have not been shoved in front and said, okay, let's look at your certainty. Now step in again. Let's look at it again. And you remember at the last training, what was the last one you were at in person?
It was the one in September.
Speak Your Impact, right?
Speak Your Impact.
Yeah. Did we bend steel and stuff there?
Sure did.
Yeah. So what happened from now till then?
Lots of good stuff. I believe in myself. I believe that I can bend metal.
So you want to go the next level of certainty? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I would tell you the online training would be great. Change the
I
channel.
am signed up for leadership.
You are signed up. Well, that's going to be a game changer for you there. And then the other thing for you guys, I didn't really talk about it much. Look, the thing about trainings, Lisa, and I'm going to tell you this because it's serving for you. It's not serving for us. Is what happens is for all of you, we built Freedom Tribe and we built Legacy. If you're a Legacy member on here, can you type in Legacy? And if you're Freedom, can you type in Freedom? The reason why we built the programs is because 4 years ago, Lisa, we did a training and people went away. And I was like, yay, I had so much fun doing it. And then they came back and they went from here to here. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I did a training and they went from here to here. And then finally someone said, you can't give us a break. You just need to give us a program where we're either doing a training or we're connected to you. Because space does create, resistance because you're going, but then there's that one question that you're like, how do I make this move? How do I implement this subscription program? How do I raise this price? How do I build this authority? And you keep waiting for the next training. So you lost 3 months. So think about those items, change the channel. You already come to leadership. And I would say, consider one of our programs because when you like tonight, which we're going to end in a minute, from every single Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. is open access where any one of our members come on and they say, I got to look at this marketing, solve this thing. I need to get more customers, save more money. And you're getting that every week. And that's just that one call. So that call over 52 weeks is 52 solving. And then on Thursday night for like Freedom Tribe, we do 90 minutes. So now you got 2 calls. So you have pretty much throughout the year, like over 100 sessions of solving, not counting the training items. So I'm not pitching on them, just inviting you to don't have space, because space sucks and then you don't get to where you want. And you're built for way more. I know that. I just need you to keep remembering it.
Heck yeah. Well, I got Rihanna here now, so we're gonna be keeping each other accountable too. That's the plan.
Well, that is awesome. So I hope that's helpful. Look forward to serving both of you. Thanks for bringing her
Thank
into
you.
our world.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate everything today.
Oh, awesome. And you guys played full out. Super
And Aaron
excited.
and everyone's team.
Super excited for you guys. Okay, guys, that's it. It's 5:59. This song's longer than a minute. I got the song picked for you. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next training. The rest of you, see you on Open Access.